This is ChestertonRadio.com.
And here's the cinnamon bell.
It's getting closer and closer to Christmas, and Judy and Jimmy and their friends are still a long way from getting the silver star mended. Queen Melissa's last instructions directed them to the Golden Grove, where they were supposed to find a most valuable clue underneath the singing tree. No sooner had they entered the grove and started to look for the tree than right out of nowhere jumped that wicked old wintergreen witch. If only Judy hadn't given her looking glass to the wooden Indian, chief cook and bottle washer, she might have held it in front of the witch's face and scared her, like she did on the island of Obi. But when Wintergreen learned that Judy no longer had the dreadful looking glass, she right then and there decided to change the twins and Cinnamon Bear and the Crazy Quilt Dragon into bullfrogs. And it looks like nothing in the world or Maybeland can stop her. She just laughs and laughs and laughs.
I'll teach you to tattle on the Wintergreen Witch. I'll teach you to trifle with my reputation.
Please, Mrs. Witch.
I told you once never to call me Mrs. Witch.
Please don't turn us into bullfrogs.
I never was very fond of bullfrogs.
I dare say they're all right in their way, but...
Keep still, all of you. Bullfrogs I want you to me, and bullfrogs you shall be. I'll begin my incantation.
Oh,
Jumbo, abracadabra. Ooh. Mumbo, Jumbo, abracadabra. Ooh. Mumbo, Jumbo.
Gee, we're not bullfrogs yet, Judy.
I guess maybe she has to say some more things first.
Well, I don't feel in the least like a bullfrog yet.
I know what's the matter. Definitely.
What is it, Crazy Quilt?
The witch can't change anybody into anything. Melissa has not only banished her from the island of Obi, but has taken away her magical powers.
Oh, she's tearing her hair out.
Let her tear it. So, you would turn perfectly respectable citizens of Maybeland and the USA into bullfrogs, would you? Garrot.
And so, my hideous hag, you would cast your weird spells on us, would you? Well, where is your black art now, may I ask?
It seems that I can't do as I wished and change your babbling mouths to those of croaking bullfrogs. Let it be so. Melissa has done me one more bad turn, which I won't forget, but I still have what's left of your silver star.
Oh, my word, so she has.
You give it back, you nasty old witch.
Try and make me. My power may be gone, but I can still run faster than the wind. I'll take your star and throw it where you'll never see it again.
Oh, dear.
I'll run to the other side of the Golden Grove. It's the northern boundary of Maybeland, and there on the other side is a great abyss which separates it from the snow country. I'll throw your silver star down in that bottomless abyss.
No, you won't. I can run, too.
Can't you, Jimmy?
You bet.
Try and catch me.
I'll do my best, you woe-begone witch.
I'm not exactly built for speed, but I'll stay with you.
Gee willikers, she fell down.
Now she's picking herself up again.
My goodness, she fell down again.
Bless my stuffing, what goes on here?
One moment, my good woman. 1 moment, Fibber.
Who's that?
Jumpin' gee willikers, it's the Grand Wonky.
I wonder what he's doing here.
Well, hello, friend Wunge. What is the meaning of your welcome presence in these parts?
Hello. Greetings from Melissa and all that. Just a moment, please. I'm here in my official capacity right now. Wintergreen.
What do you want?
I simply want to tell you that you had better be a good witch, because you are surrounded by the very best quality A1 witch-proof invisible net, and you cannot pursue your nefarious schemes any longer.
Oh, so that's what tripped her up and made her fall.
Oh, yes, indeed. Melissa's been watching you with a great deal of interest. Just toss that star back to the children, Wintergreen. There's a good witch. Oh. No. Now, do you have to be so unpleasant about it? Dear me, what an odious person you are, to be sure.
Does Melissa know what has happened to us, Grand Wonky?
Oh, my, yes. Melissa knows everything that goes on in Maybeland. She sent me here to take charge of the Wintergreen Witch. Now, just step lively there, you ex-witch. Give the star back to the young man there.
There.
Oh, boy. Thank you so much, Grand Wonky.
Not at all. Just on the line of duty, you know.
Well, now that you're here at the scene of the crime, so to speak, Could you be telling us which one of these trees in the Golden Grove is the singing tree Melissa sent us to find?
You know, I'm terribly sorry, but I haven't the remotest idea. I'm afraid you'll have to find that for yourselves. I'm here purely on business, you understand.
Which business?
Yes, which business? I've been instructed to take the Wintergreen Witch into exile. So come along now, Wintergreen, old thing.
Oh, where are you taking me? Have you no heart to take a poor old defenseless woman with no home, no place to lay her tired head, or somewhere she's never been?
My. I have no time to bandy words with you. Come on, Wintergreen.
Oh, son, think what you would do if your own mother were in my plight.
Oh, where are you taking this old reprobate monkey?
Melissa has instructed me to conduct her to the Looking Glass Valley to spend the rest of her days.
Gee willikers, if you take her there, she'll scare herself to death looking at that face of hers.
Grand Monkey, if you take the mean old witch to Looking Glass Valley, you'd better take away the airplane you'll find at the bottom. Oh, that was the one Cinnamon Bear took Jimmy and me in before we landed in Looking Glass Valley. If you leave it there, she might be able to get out again and bother folks.
An airplane, did you say? Dear me, yes, I shall certainly give orders to have it removed to Melissa's palace, where you may obtain it when you wish. We mustn't give the Wintergreen Witch any opportunity of returning to circulation. No.
Oh, you're taking me to Looking Glass Valley. Do you realize what you're doing? Condemning me to spend the rest of my life in stark staring madness, looking at my reflection.
Poor Wintergreen. You've been mean to us, but I'm sorry for you there. Can't you close your eyes if you don't want to look at yourself?
No, I can't. Witches can't sleep. Can't even close their eyelids, 'cause they haven't any.
Well. Come along, Wintergreen. Melissa's orders must be carried out to the letter, you know. Step lively now.
Goodbye, Grand Monkey.
Thanks for everything.
And convey our best to dear Melissa.
And that goes for me, too.
Yes. Goodbye, all. Shake a limb there, Wintergreen. Oh, come. Don't loiter, and please don't hobble like that. My. Such woman. Yeah.
Oh, dear. It's too bad the Grand Monkey didn't know which is the singing tree.
Oh, all the trees look alike. I don't see how we'll ever find it.
Thousands of them, thousands and thousands.
I'm afraid I'm getting a bit sleepish.
Oh, so am I.
I think I could do with about 39 winks.
I think we all need a little nap. Maybe we could look if we weren't so tired.
Oh, I'm going to lie right down here under this big tree.
Can I lean on you, Crazy Quilt?
Oh, go right ahead and make yourself at home. How about you, Judy? Want to use me for a pillow, too?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Cinnamon Bear's gone to sleep already. He's
Crazy Quilt, I think I hear music. Didn't.
Birds are singing a sleepy time song, too sleepy to see the stars pass along. In my branches I rock their nest. Lullaby, rock-a-bye. Close each wee sleepy eye, slumber and rest, slumber and rest. Here's the dream that I bring to you. Oh, dream you may dream the whole night through. A bright adventure and golden quest, lullaby, rock-a-bye.
I must have dropped off in spite of myself. Oh, hey, wake up, everybody. I mustn't sleep too long. Wake up, wake up.
Don't you? Say, you know, I'm sure I heard someone singing.
So did I.
I'm sure I did, too. Or maybe we just dreamed it, huh?
Well, look here. Why, this wasn't anywhere around when we all lay down to sleep.
Bless my stuffing. It's a huge silk hat.
Why, it's the biggest one I ever did see.
Jiminy crickets. I thought Mr. Presto the magician had a big hat. But this is just simply enormous. Why, it's bigger than all of us put together.
Look, it's got windows in it.
And there are some letters painted on it. The Flying Hat. My word, what do you suppose this is?
You know what? I bet you we went to sleep under the singing tree. That's what. Remember we all thought we heard singing? And this great big hat is the clue Melissa said we'd find.
Sure enough. And see, Judy, here's a door in the hat.
My stuffing is getting more curious every minute.
Look, there's a note on the door.
I've got it. Just a minute.
Oh, Jimmy, hurry. What does it say?
Jumping Key Willikers. Look!
I'm sorry, but we didn't get a chance to look, and I'm quite as curious as the Cinnamon Bear. Well, I suppose there's nothing to do but wait until next time to see what this flying hat is all about. And I'll be Johnny on the spot to get a real look at that note.
This is Chesterton Radio, your home for podcasts of works by G.K. Chesterton, plus drama, comedy, mystery, science fiction, big bands, and much more. The soundtrack to your Chesterton day at chestertonradio.com.
J-E-L-L-O. The Jello program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston and Phil Harris and his orchestra. The orchestra opens the program with I Feel a Song coming on. It's in the air around you. It's written in people's faces. It's anywhere and everywhere. The wonderful excitement that comes with Christmas week. Now, when spirits are high and appetites are keen, Jell-O is the perfect dessert for you to serve. For Jell-O's festive, shining colors, its delicious fresh fruit flavor are right in keeping with the gaiety of the season. So let Jell-O help you celebrate your holidays. Serve it in any one of its 6 delicious flavors. Flavors unusually rich because they come from fresh, ripe fruit. But just remember that there is only one Jell-O, and only Jell-O brings you that extra rich fruit flavor. So make no mistake. Insist on the real thing. Insist on genuine Jell-O. We bring you a man who stands for good, wholesome entertainment, who stands for bright, sparkling humor. In fact, a man who stands for almost anything, Jack Benny. Thank
you. Hello again. This is Standing Jack Benny talking. Listen, Don, I may be easygoing and all that, but there's a limit to just how much I will stand. I think you found that out the past few weeks.
But I've never really seen you blow up, Jack.
Well, that's because I managed to keep myself under control. But if I ever lose my temper, well, I just hope I'm not around when it happens.
Oh, Jack, you haven't such a temper. Why, I've heard you argue with Phil Harris, and you've been as gentle as a lamb.
Yes, Don, but you'll never know the battle that goes on inside of me. How I have to fight to hold myself back.
Well, that's generally a nice, safe quarrel.
Yes.
Jack, I don't want to interfere, but I do think that since Christmas is so near that you and Phil ought to make up.
No, Don. The wound is too deep. You see, you only know me on the surface, but there are really two Jack Bennies. There's the patient, amiable, fun-loving fellow you see around the studio. And then there's that other me. Stark, savage, primitive. A throwback to the Stone Age. I tell you, Don, one minute I'm as meek as a mouse, and then all of a sudden I'm Vesuvius erupting.
My.
Well, anyway, I'm through coddling people around here, and that goes for Phil Harris or anybody else. You know, you can go just so far, and then the worm turns.
You're right, Jack.
I'll say I am.
Hello, Worm.
Well, I haven't turned yet. You better watch your step, too, Mary. What I just said about Phil goes for everybody on this program.
I'm not worried about you. I've got my own troubles. You know, I just had an awful fight with myself.
You did?
You may not know it, Jack, but there are two Mary Livingstons.
Oh, there are?
Yes. There's the quiet, home-loving me, who spends her time in the kitchen.
I see.
And then there's the other me, wild, reckless, with a yen for caviar and cheap jewelry.
Oh, so you've got a dual personality, too?
Have I? I'm a regular Dr. Jekyll and Mrs. Hyde.
Well, say, Don, did Phil get here yet?
Oh, yes, Jack. He's right on time tonight.
He must have read my thoughts last week. Believe me, it's good to put your foot down once in a while.
Hello, Mary. Hello, Jack.
Hello, Kenny. Say, what kind of a hello was that?
That was my other self talking.
Hey, Don, look who's got another self.
Oh, yeah? I've got two me's, too.
Oh, you have, huh?
Sure. There's one me that you all know around the studio, good-natured, dumb, and unconscious.
Oh.
And then there's the real me, smart, bright, and witty.
Why don't you bring him around sometime?
Oh, Mary, leave him alone.
That guy don't know enough to come in out of the rain.
He does, too.
Come in where?
Forget it, Kenny. It doesn't rain in California anyway.
It doesn't?
No.
Then what keeps falling out of the sky? Orange juice?
Well, maybe the weather has a dual personality, too. You know, there are two sides to everything and everyone. Don't you think so, Don?
Positively. And now that you brought it up, you know, Jack, you may not believe this, but there are really two Don Wilsons.
Oh, I can see that, Don. But a little dieting will take care of that, you know.
Oh, you're laughing at my expanse.
No, I'm serious.
But all kidding aside, I too have another self. Oh. There's the quiet, retiring me who just says, Jell-O is the fastest-selling gelatin dessert in the world, and every day millions of people eat it.
I see.
And then there's that other me that says the Jell-O has 6 delicious flavors, strawberry, raspberry, cherry, orange, lemon, and lime.
Why, Don, you frighten me. Quick, Playboy! Don, go back to your other self. was You Can Tell She Comes from Dixie, conducted by Phil Harris, who also has a dual personality. By that I mean he's a two-timer. During every number, he waves one hand at the orchestra and the other at the girls in the audience. And it's got to stop.
All right, I'll quit waving at the orchestra.
Well, at least that'll help the music. You've even poisoned the boys in the band against me.
I have not.
You haven't? Then why don't they laugh at my joke?
Why don't you say something funny?
I don't want to establish a precedent around here, that's why.
That's awfully good. Laugh at him, boys.
Well, at least they were together. That's more than I can say about their music. Zowie!
What happened?
Jack thought he said something funny.
It's a fine bunch I'm associated with.
What's the matter with you, Jack? Every year you pick a fight with us.
Well, what about it?
Last year it was just before Christmas, too.
Well, I like to do my Christmas scrapping early.
Jack, why don't you consider my suggestion and make up with Phil? How about it, Phil?
Well, I'm willing if that horseless cowboy is.
Yeah? Well, I'm not a horseless cowboy.
No, you're a brainless master of ceremonies.
Oh, yeah? That means fight in my country. I wish we were there.
Gee, a little geography saves Jack a lot of trouble.
Yeah. There'd be a lot of trouble right now if it wasn't that Kenny has to sing his songs.
I can wait, Jack.
You sing when you're supposed to, not when you're ready.
Oh, this thing's getting worse and worse. Come on, Jack. Now make up with Phil. What do you say?
No, Don. I realize this is the time of year when we must forgive and forget. But even this holiday spirit cannot erase the scar that has been etched into my heart.
Oh, Jack, you're making a scar out of a molehill.
No, I'm not. Did you ever hear that famous poem by Ludwig Schmutz?
Shaves authors
that
tonight.
poem called Bear It With a Grin?
No.
Well, it goes something like this. When your soul is torn asunder by some fellow's thoughtless blunder, and your trouble deep down under, bear it with a grin. When he makes your life so dreary, and your eyes with tears are bleary, and you're oh so gosh darn weary, bear it with a grin.
Manny.
So if your false friend should forsake you, and a fool he tries to make you, point at him and say, you snake you, and...
Let's say it with a groan.
Thank you. Well, I guess you know how I feel about it now, Don. Sing, Kenny.
And my poems are supposed to be bad.
So jealous of the moon, jealous of a summer night in June. Why can they remain beside my darling while I must leave so soon? Summer night. With a thousand eyes, why have I only two to behold a thousand charms I idolize? Summer night.
sung by Kenny Baker, and tonight it seemed to have an extra touch of tenderness. But there's one thing that puzzles me, Kenny. How can you say so many dumb things and yet sing so sweetly?
Well, I don't have to think when I sing.
Oh.
I'll bet he's got a record in his mouth.
I doubt it.
Oh, Jack.
Yes, Don.
I don't want to interrupt the program, but I may not get to see you again until after Christmas.
That's right.
Well, to come to the point, Jack, Mary, Kenny, and I got together and bought you a little Christmas present, which I hope you'll like.
Well, thanks, Don. And Mary. You too, Kenny.
Oh, you're welcome. Here you are, Jack.
Gee, I imagine it's something awfully nice. Well. Gee, this is a surprise. A gold button hook.
Uh-huh.
Say, that'll come in handy. Of course, I haven't worn button shoes in a long time, but if they ever come back, boy, I'll be all set.
Well, I'm glad you like it, Jack.
It's a beautiful button hook. And gold, too.
Yeah, and there's a toothpick on one end.
Oh, there sure is. Well.
If Keith ever come back, you'll be all set.
Well, thanks, kids. I sure appreciate this. Gee, you must have gone back 20 years to get it.
Oh, it wasn't any trouble, Jack.
No, I imagine it wasn't. Now, gather around, everybody. It's my turn to play Santa Claus. I got a little surprise for most all of you. Here's a little gift for you, Kenny. A beautiful red silk necktie.
Oh, thanks, Jack.
Isn't it pretty?
Gee. You know, this looks like the same tie I gave you last year.
Well, it isn't. It's different.
Yeah, it's got spots on it now.
Quiet. He can have it cleaned. And, Don, here's a present for you. It's something I know you'll love.
What is it?
A box of genuine Jell-O.
Oh, goody!
Yeah, I knew
You know,
it.
my wife's going to give me a sliced pineapple for Christmas, and they'll go swell together.
Oh, they sure will.
Oh, Jack.
What?
Where's the present I'm going to exchange?
Here, and don't be funny. Change.
What is it?
What is it? Can't you see? It's an earring.
An earring?
Yeah.
One earring? Where's the other one?
Well, there'll be other Christmases, won't there?
This is a fine present. Now I'll be lopsided.
Yeah. Put it on, Mary. That's the style now anyway. One earring.
Jack, didn't you forget somebody?
Not anybody that didn't forget me. But to show you the difference in characters, come here, Mary. Here's a present for him. You give it to him.
Okay. Here, Phil. Jack told me to give you this Christmas present.
What is it? It's a curling iron.
A curling iron?
Yes.
Thanks, only my hair is naturally curly.
Well, if it ever straightens out, you'll be all set. And incidentally, it's time for your next number, so stop grinning at the girls in the audience and play.
All right, Simon.
Yeah, now, wait a minute. I may be exacting, but I'm no Simon Legree.
I meant Simple Simon.
Oh. Now I'm stumped. Well, go ahead and play a number, smarty pants. Say, Mary, how do you like that earring I gave you?
Fine. My ear's turning green already.
Some Christmas spirit around here.
Some present, too.
Yeah. a mutiny in the brass section played by Curly Harris, the Kink of jazz. And incidentally, folks, not that I care, but evidently Mr. Harris has never heard that it's better to give than to receive. Imagine a guy not reciprocating after you've given him a swell curling iron.
Swell, it isn't even electric.
I suppose you like Benjamin Franklin to autograph it. What a guy. And now, folks, this being our last program before Christmas.
That's me, Brooksy. Oh, well, come in. Hello, Chick Barney.
Hello, Patsy. Hey, it's good to see you again. How'd you happen to drop in?
Well, it's the holiday season, and I'm bringing Yuletime greetings.
Well, thanks. What are you doing these days, Patsy?
Can you read Hengel?
Of course I can read English.
Then here's my card.
Pat C. Flick. Suit, clothes, and Merry Christmas. So you're in the clothing business now, huh?
Yes, sir. And, Jake, beside a bowl rolling, I brought you a Christmas present.
Well, that's very nice of you, Patsy, but you didn't have to do it.
Don't mention it, cutie. I'm sentimental.
Oh, look at this, a brand new suit. Is it really a present for me?
It's not for Marlene Dietrich.
Well, it sure is a nice gesture. Hey, wait a minute. There's only the pants and vest here. Where's the coat?
That'll cost you $75.
I see. Well, I don't need a new suit.
You don't need a suit. Look at that coat you're wearing.
What's wrong with it?
Potatoes I wouldn't put in that bag.
Oh, you wouldn't, eh?
And look at the cheap material. You call this a bucket? See?
Hey, wait a minute.
Hold on there. What are you doing to Jag? Don't interrupt the sale.
Say, you've got a lot of nerve.
And look at this sleeve. Now, is that a coat I asked?
Not now, it isn't. No.
And look at those pins.
Shall I leave the room, Jack?
No, this has gone far enough. Here, take back your pants and vest and get out of here.
Well, that's chiseler. You give a guy a present and he don't even reciprocate.
Well, goodbye and Happy New Year.
Who needs it? Fair.
Look at my coat all ripped and torn. I got a date with a doll right after the program. Now, what are you laughing at?
If it's a rag doll, you're all set.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, as I said before, this being our last program before Christmas, tonight we are going... What's that?
Hello, Buck.
Well, Sheriff Andy Devine. Glad to see you, Andy.
Oh, glad to see you too, Buck.
What brings you here tonight?
Well, ain't you and me going out looking for Cactus Face Elmer, the outlaw?
Doggone it, Andy. We got to arguing and talking up here tonight and giving out presents. I'm afraid we won't be able to do Buck Benny Rides again until next Sunday.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah.
And I'm all dressed up in my cowboy suit.
Well, don't take it so hard. Come over next Sunday and you can play with us. Sorry you had to make this long trip, Andy.
Well, I didn't mind coming over. I'm kind of stuck on Mary, you know.
Stop blushing, Andy.
I ain't blushing. I'm boiling.
Well, Andy, I'm sorry about Buck Benny. I really am. Huh?
Well, I'm sure disappointed, too.
I know how you feel. Huh?
Oh, doggone it. But you know, Buck, that reminds me of a poem by Ludwig Schmutz.
Good old Schmutzy. Good old Schmutzy. By Ludwig, huh?
Yes, sir, and it goes something like this. When you're just a buckaroo and Buck Benny you cannot do, don't feel bad and don't feel blue. Just bear it with a grin.
Ah, those are real sentiments, Andy. Ludwig sure went to town on that one, huh?
Well, so long, Buck. See you next week.
So long, Andy.
So long.
He sure has a lot of fun, doesn't he, huh? Well, I got to run along now, fellas. The program is nearly over anyway. I don't think you need me here any longer tonight, and besides, I've got a date, so I'm going to go. Goodbye, Mary.
Goodbye, Jack, and a Merry Christmas.
Same to you. So long, Don. Goodbye, Kenny.
Merry Christmas, Jack.
Same to you. Well, so long.
Hey, Jack.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you, Phil.
Goodbye. Wait a minute, Jack. I want to talk to you.
Well, hurry up. I've got a date.
Listen, Jack, I think we've both been acting like a couple of kids. But I want to tell you one thing, and it comes right from my heart. I've been with you 12 weeks now, and I've enjoyed every minute of it.
You wouldn't know it.
Of course, sometimes you've tried to act hard-boiled, but deep down underneath, you're a regular guy.
Oh, I am I? Well, I'm going.
Wait a minute, Jack. Just to show you how I feel about you, here's a little Christmas present.
Thanks.
Well, why don't you open it?
Oh, you open it. It's probably some trick.
Gee, I hope you like it, Jack.
Oh, I already said thanks.
Gee, look, fellas.
Gosh, gee whiz.
Oh, Jack, look. Why, it's the most beautiful watch I've ever seen.
I've got a watch.
And look at that platinum case and diamonds all around it.
I thought so. If I wear that, somebody will hold me up and hit me over the head.
Oh, gee, it's beautiful, Phil.
Oh,
It certainly is.
Oh, Jack, that's really something.
Gee, it is pretty, isn't it? Gee, platinum and diamonds all around it. Gee, thanks, Phil.
You're welcome, Jack.
Oh, boy, that is gorgeous. Huh? Well, Phil, I hardly know what to say now. I feel so... Oh, I don't know.
Oh, forget about it, Jack.
Gee, I wish I'd have bought you an electric iron now. Boy, I'll bet this must have set you back plenty, huh, Phil?
Well, just don't fire me for about 2 years.
Well, Phil, all I can say is I'm terribly sorry for everything that happened, and see if I can ever do anything for you. And if you ever want to know what time it is, don't hesitate to ask me.
I don't value anything, Jack, as much as I do your friendship.
Gee, I didn't know you felt that way. See, but all I can say is, well, thanks, Phil.
Oh, you're welcome, Jack. Merry Christmas.
Come on, fellas. Come on. Pull yourselves together. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish you could all be here to witness this touching display of friendship. In fact, I personally am so moved that I can hardly say that Jell-O is the most tempting gelatin dessert in the world. So just be sure to get the genuine Jell-O with the big red letters on the bottom. Is there a Santa Claus? You bet your life there is, and you'll be more certain of it than ever once you taste Jell-O chocolate pudding. It's the best that comes your way since the old days when your grandmother made chocolate pudding. Smoother, creamier, more chocolatey with a grand homemade flavor. That's Jell-O chocolate pudding. And it's amazingly easy and inexpensive to make. Here's all you do. Mix the contents of one package with some milk in the top of your cup of cool, and this delicious pudding is all ready to be served in your sherbet glasses. And if you want to give it an extra special Christmas touch, add some raisins or toasted nuts or both. You'll get 6 luscious servings from each package of Jell-O chocolate pudding, which sells for the same low price as Jell-O. Ask your grocer about it tomorrow. If he hasn't put it in stock yet, be sure he orders it for you. Remember the name, Jell-O chocolate pudding.
number of the 12th program in the new Jell-O series. And we'll be with you again next Sunday night at the same time when you will hear our next installment of Buck Benny Rides Again. Well, fellas, I was going out on a party tonight, but I'd much rather be with a gang. Come on, let's all go out and make whoopee.
Okay,
How about you, Phil?
Thanks, Jack, but I've already got a date tonight.
Oh, bring her along. And if she's got a girlfriend, bring her along for me.
She has, Jack, but her girlfriend isn't very pretty.
Oh, I don't care. Filthy, as long as I'm with you.
And Phil don't care as long as he's with a girl.
Good night, folks, and Merry Christmas.
J-E-L-L.
The tune, Here's Love in Your Eyes, from the big broadcast of 1937. Summer Night is from Sing Me a Love Song. The Jell-O program comes to you over the Red Network from the Hollywood studios of the National Broadcasting Company.
This is Chesterton Radio, the true, good, and beautiful at chestertonradio.com.
Don't turn that dial. This is the right station if you want to hear about Jonathan Thomas and his Christmas on the Moon. Poor old Santa Claus made a mistake. He's feeling so sad for the children's sake. He let some Squeebubblyums in one night, and they captured him after a terrible fight. And now he's a prisoner in Squeebubblium land. They've tied him so tight, he can't move a hand. But don't you worry, because you've heard, of course, that the Man in the Moon and Gorgonzola the horse and Jonathan Thomas, who are all brave and strong, have promised to find him before very long. They've traveled quite far on this dangerous road, past the Dragon's Cave and the home of the Toad. And they've had much trouble with the wicked old witch who rules o'er the land of Rumpelstiltskin. But you needn't worry, for they're doing well. They escaped her magic and terrible spell. For they've made a true friend of the good fairy queen. And she always has spoiled the old witch's scheme. But once, in the nightmare forest so deep, the witch put Jonathan Thomas asleep. But the good fairy queen woke him up with a charm, and she's doing her best to keep him from harm. And they met a lion one day on the path, who roared quite loud to show them his wrath. For he said it's all wrong and a crying shame to be told I'm lion. I demand a new name. So they named him Ojigrat. He thought it was fine. And to show he was pleased, he asked them to dine. Then he gave them a gift. 'Twas a box full of growls to frighten the witch and make her howl. So they thanked him kindly, and on they rode till they met the elf king who lived by the road. And they were just in time, for the wicked old witch flew up on her broom from Rumpelstiltskin. She said she had come for the little elf king, and she threatened them all with terrible things. But they opened the box and let out a growl, and the witch flew away with a terrible howl. And then the little elf king, he gave them a key, and said it's a gift to you from me, to open the way through the doors in the wall. Just be careful which one you open, that's all. They tried to be careful, but the wall was long, and the door that they entered was found to be wrong. Wherever they looked, they saw mirrors so grand, and what do you think? It was Looking Glass Land. Throw off the chains and open the gate, and I'll have your head if you're 1 minute late.
Yes, sir, at once, your majesty. I'll unlock the gate with this golden key.
Very good, my loyal guard. Do you suppose I should walk in without sending a card? I'm such a funny man, and you'd better laugh as hard as you can.
Yes, sir, of course. I'll do my best, as I always do when you give me the test.
Louder and louder. I'm sure you're much stronger. Very good. That's as you should. Now stand by the door and guard it well while I explain the laws to Mr. Santa Claus. I've so very much to tell.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mr. Claus, how do you do? I'm very, very glad to see you. And I can tell that you're looking well. And by my hat, you're waxing fat. Like as I've always said, no food is as good as water and bread. Well, speak up. Have your say. I can't stay around here all day.
Please, Mr. King, I'll give you anything if you'll just let me go. Diamonds and rubies and gold galore. But please, King Squeebubbly, please don't say no.
Ha! And ho!
Oh, surely, good King, you must have a heart. And you know how well I must play my part. Oh, why do you treat me this way? For there'll be no toys for the girls and boys when the sun comes up on Christmas Day. It's not for myself that I plead and beg, but for little Johnny Smith with the broken leg. Don't you see, he'll be without cheer, as no one should be at this time of the year. And there's little Mary King. She didn't ask for anything. As a matter of fact, this is all she said. Please bring me a dolly and a loaf of bread.
The answer is nay. And here's where you'll stay for a long, long time after Christmas Day. For I say that this year will be without cheer. There's too much cheer in the world anyway. Everyone should be sad, not merry and glad. That's what I say.
Very well, Mr. King, but I'm warning you. I'll escape from here. That's what I'll do.
You can't do that. You're as safe in this jail as a rat in a trap.
The only thing that I can say is that for this, you'll have to pay. And I'll be out before Christmas Day. Yes. And I'll pack my toys in my sleigh. And then through the ice and snow I'll go. On, Donner and Blitzen, to the world below. And never you fear. There'll be plenty of cheer again this year. For Sally a doll, for Bobby a train. I'll show the world how to laugh again. For round the earth will I drive my steeds, to fill every heart with my kindly deeds. And I'll bring food for the poor, and toys for the good, and we'll laugh and be happy as everyone should.
That's a very fine speech. But I know how to teach these people that spread such cheer. I'll create a gloom much worse than doom. There'll be no Christmas this year. So be hearty and hale as you stay here in jail and think of the things you do. How you'd ride your sleigh on Christmas Day if you were not put in here to stay. But now I bid you adieu and say, be of good cheer as long as you're here, for there won't be any Christmas this year. There won't be any Christmas this year.
It's plain to see you don't know me. Somehow I'll find a way. This place I'll leave before Christmas Eve. I'll be there on Christmas Day. Just you wait and see, Mr. King. Just you wait and see.
Oh, come all ye faithful, joyful and triumphant. Oh, come ye to Bethlehem.
Poor old Santa. It's very sad how old King Squeebubbly treats him so bad. But he'll escape, and that's my promise, as he'll be rescued by Jonathan Thomas. So now to the palace, good Queen Alice, and we'll be there quicker than soon to see what's happening to Jonathan Thomas and the kind old man in the moon.
Now, here's the thing, my little man, so listen with both ears as best you can.
Yes, ma'am, Your Majesty, if you please.
I remembered that Santa Claus was taken away. In fact, I remembered it only today. But now there's nothing that we lack, for now we know how to get him back.
Oh, that's very nice. But we have to rescue him, or there won't be any Christmas this year.
This is a whistle to take when you go. And when you want magic, You just have to blow. Then, quick as a wink, you'll start in to grow.
Did you say grow, Your Majesty?
Yes, I did. And you'll grow so high, you'll grow right up into the sky until you're bigger than anyone.
Oh, but
But wait until I'm done. When you reach Squeebubbly land, you'll see lots of soldiers on every hand. For Mr. Squeebubbly, the very bad king, who, just to be mean, will do any old thing, has told all his people that you're very wrong, and to catch you quickly when you come along.
Oh!
So that's the reason I'm telling to you the things that you will have to do. Because, you simply must rescue poor Mr. Santa Claus. For more than ever before, this year, we need just oodles and oodles of Christmas cheer.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, here's the plan, my good little man, as I said just a moment before. So you'll keep in your head the things that I've said, and I'll say them again once more.
Yes, ma'am, if you please.
This is the whistle that you must blow when it comes time for you to grow. Blow it just once, and then hang on, and in a trice, the Squeebubbly will be gone. You'll frighten them so when you start in to grow that will be fine because, you'll have no trouble at all in rescuing poor old Santa Claus.
Does it hurt very much to grow, Your Majesty?
Oh, not very much. That is, in the main. But you shouldn't mind a growing pain.
For gracious goodness, Jonathan Thomas, we'd better hurry, or we'll never arrive at the land of Squeebubbly.
Look, Mr. Man in the Moon, Her Majesty, Queen Alice, gave me a magic whistle so that I can grow tall and frighten a Squeebubbly so they won't know what to do.
That's wonderful, Jonathan Thomas. Yeah. We are mighty grateful to you, Queen Alice. Yes, sir. How does the whistle work?
Her Majesty said that I just have to blow it like this. And then, oh, my goodness, I feel funny.
Jiminy Crickets, you're starting to grow.
But I don't want to grow now. Yet.
Gracious sakes.
Look at me, everybody. I'm getting bigger and bigger, and I'm going up in the air.
There's no need for alarm. He's under a charm.
I'm getting bigger than a building, even than a mountain.
Gracious sakes to Jiminy Crickets and flubduds. Get him. Stop, Your Majesty. He's turning into a giant. Stop him before he gets clear up in the clouds. Oh, my goodness gracious. Stop!
Well, that really is a magic whistle, isn't it? And it must be wonderful to be able to grow like that without having to eat spinach or even anything. But what do you suppose will happen next? Do you think he'll be able to ungrow? I mean, become shorter again? Well, we'll find that out in the next story of Jonathan Thomas and His Christmas on the Moon. Don't forget to listen, will you?
You are listening to Chesterton Radio at chestertonradio.com.
Section 9 of G.K. Chesterton's newspaper columns, The New Witness, 1919 to 1920. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Larry Wilson. G.K. Chesterton's newspaper columns, The New Witness, 1919 to 1920, by G.K. Chesterton. At the sign of the world's end, the religion of the reindeer. If I take a convenient text from the attractive opening pages of Mr. Wells' World History, it will not be mistaken, I hope, for an unjust generalization from the first chapters in absence of the last. Indeed, the only generalization I might venture to make is that these interesting chapters ought to be the last chapters, not the first. Every word of them should be published, and every word of them should be read. But in a sense I should find them more convincing as a fascinating appendix than as a formal preface. If I could imagine myself capable of writing so learned and many-sided a work at all, I think I should have put planets and protoplasm and primitive men into the story of the 19th century. Whether or no these things, or some of them, were the great events of the Ice Age or the Stone Age, they were certainly the great events of our own age, or of the age of our aunts and uncles. In short, I should introduce Darwinism with Darwin, as I should introduce Calvinism with Calvin. Elements of predestination, elements of evolution, are indeed as old as the world, but it was these definite departures alone that made them the first principle and foundation of the world. Thus the geological eons of the agnostics could be treated like the livelier eons of the Gnostics. That is, they could be treated as the hypotheses of a highly interesting set of men. Mr. Wells might well have waited till he was past the French Revolution and the first industrial movements, and then told us of that group of very great men whose scientific labors were the glory of the Victorian age, and who advanced, like Calvin and the Gnostics, one very striking theory of the genesis of things. Then we could have had all the mammoths and the megaliths just the same. Then we could have wallowed in the primeval slime, with all the pleasure I have just felt in reading his first pages. But the missing link could go with the devil and the demiurge, and other religious figures in perfect religious equality. Let it be noted that I say that the missing link can go with the devil, and not what a more hasty reader might happen to think I said. Mr. Wells might well conclude that chapter, but that modesty would probably prevent him, by saying that none was greater in that great scientific century than one whom it produced before its close, a prose poet of science whose fictions were so imaginatively true that they might as well be as immortal as fairy tales when all their facts had been shown to be falsehoods. But as it happens, I am only taking an accidental example of something of which Mr. Wells can by no means be exhibited as an awful example. On the contrary, he is in this, as in many things, refreshingly free from the extreme faults of his school. I mean that deadly denial of the brotherhood of men, which has made many materialists exult indecently in the alleged filth and degradation and deformity of the first men of the earth. For it is at least as necessary to have a sense of human equality about the prehistoric as about the proletarian. I believe that this was simply one of the bad habits of black industrialism, and that its motive was brutally reactionary. Men were taught so much about slow evolution that they might be patient with equally slow progress. They were told that their fathers were covered with hair, that they might be the less surprised at being covered with rags. And they were assured that primitive man always ate his grandmother to reconcile them to the experience of not having much else to eat. Mr. Wells' first chapters are an agreeable and honorable change from the tone of the first anthropologists about the first anthropoids. They had to blacken the past very much to make it blacker than the present. He throws upon the past something of that quickening sunlight of imagination that he often throws upon the future. When he says that a primitive man was too intelligent and too like ourselves not to have a language, we can feel the change from the cheap science that made him so stupid and so unlike ourselves as hardly to have a head on his shoulders. If, therefore, I find something to criticize in his version of primitive evolution, I'm taking the thing at its best and not its worst. And I think that even in this, its finest form, there is something to criticize. It seems to me that the guesses about the prehistoric make it out much too historic. I mean that even when they have imagination and sympathy instead of dullness and disgust, they still have not enough data. For instance, it is part of Mr. Wells' purpose to show that religion was, as he expresses it, a growth. Indeed, religion was, as he explains it, a growth from quite scattered and separate seeds, like trees with different roots, entangled at the top, a bewilderment about dreams, a fear of the tribal chief, here familiarly called the Old Man, an accidental discovery of grain, a doubt whether the dead were really dead. These separate and intrinsically secular things came together and somehow formed the spiritual thing we know. I may remark here that this explanation strikes me as very unconvincing as a matter of mere psychology. That motley material accidents should make up an ultimately indivisible idea seems much less likely than the old story, that a mystical tradition lingered long after some mystical event. I might be surprised to learn that our distant descendants will develop some entirely new emotion, inconceivable to us, but so urgent to them that they will break their hearts as for a love affair, or fall fighting as for a flag. But I should not only be surprised, but somewhat skeptical, if I were told that this simple enthusiasm will be developed by combining commonplace and utterly different things of our own day, that it will be a mixture of the hurry to catch a train, the pleasure of smoking a good cigar, the difficulty of learning the foxtrot, and the difference between butter and margarine. I do not see why these things should combine into one emotion. And I do not think they will. Nor do I think it of the primitive material accidents. If they were only material accidents, surely it is much more consonant to common sense to suppose that there was already a mystical sentiment, and that in the light of that, dreams seemed marvelous, and the dead immortal, and the deeds of men weighted with doom. But the point that took my attention was this, that in connection with this general idea of the slow growth of religion, Mr. Wells suggests that the primitive men for whose spirited drawings of reindeers and other animals he expresses a refreshing regard, do not seem to have had any particular religious feelings. This is what I mean by the best anthropology being curiously dogmatic with curiously inadequate data. It is apparently based upon nothing better than the impression that the figure of the reindeer is frankly and fearlessly drawn, and that there is none among these figures than can be identified as a religious symbol. I can hardly imagine fainter evidence, or a thinner thread of argument, than this which reconstructs the very inmost moods of the prehistoric mind, from the fact that somebody who has left a few drawings on a rock, from what motive we do not know, for what purpose we do not know, acting under what customs and conventions we do not know, happened to find it easier to draw a reindeer than to draw his own dream of spiritual perfection. He might have drawn a reindeer because it was his religious symbol. Even more probably, he might have drawn it because it was not his religious symbol. He might have drawn everything except his religious symbol. In any case, it is an amazing leap of logic to deduce that he had no religious symbol, and another to deduce even from the fact that he had no religious symbol the idea that he had no religion. There really is not evidence enough for any of these remote reconstructions. Even the most ignorant of us have the right to say so when the reconstructionists actually give us the evidence that convinces them, and it fails signally to convince us. So far as the free draughtsmanship of the reindeer man suggests anything, it would rather suggest the opposite, not directly but indirectly, because a man intelligent enough to be an artist might well be intelligent enough to be a philosopher. Some slight interest in transcendental truth did not wholly enfeeble the fearless draughtsmanship of Michelangelo or of Blake. End of section 9.
Suspense. And the producer of radio's outstanding theater of thrills, the master of mystery and adventure, William N. Robeson.
Tampering with time has been an ambition of man since he first realized how inexorably he is time's slave. At this time of the year, although we have even less time on our hands, time is much in our minds. We make a magic ritual of New Year's Eve when we suppose we can flush away all our past impurities and begin afresh at that magic hour of midnight on the 31st of December. But suppose we couldn't. Suppose the 31st of December were not the end. Listen then as Mr. Frank Lovejoy stars in The 32nd of December.
And now, The 32nd of December, starring Mr. Frank Lovejoy, a tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
As far as I was concerned, when I got up the morning of December 31st, it could stay 1958 forever. The only trouble is time doesn't work that way. Time is a downhill ride in a car with no brakes. You can't stop it even if your life depends on it. And mine did.
Joe, your breakfast is getting cold.
I'm coming. All I have time for is a cup of coffee anyway. What is this, milk? Don't we ever have anything but milk to put in the coffee?
You know we can't afford cream these days. We can hardly afford to eat.
Molly, you'll be wearing mink yet. Just give me a little more time.
Yeah, you've been saying that ever since we got married.
Well, sooner or later, Molly, I'm going to make it. By the way, honey, let me have your ring.
Why?
Well, you said the diamond's loose. I'll drop it at the jeweler's on my way to the office.
Oh, we can't afford to get it fixed now.
Molly, that's an expensive ring. We can't afford not to take care of it.
Joe, have you been gambling again?
Oh, now, Molly, I told you, I'm all through with that.
You told me the same thing just before you pawned your watch. And the cufflinks I gave you on our first anniversary.
I'm not going to pawn your engagement ring. Now, let me have it. I'll pick it up on my way home tonight.
Well, all right, but, Joe...
What?
Remember, it's very precious, at least to me.
Sure, I've been gambling again. I was in the hole bad. The boys wanted to pay off by midnight, and this time they weren't going to take no for an answer. If I couldn't raise the dough on Molly's ring, I didn't know what I'd do. The pawn shop was like any other pawn shop, dirty and gloomy, full of junk, with clocks ticking all over the place. One thing caught my eye as soon as I came in. In the front case, a watch, curiously ornate, obviously very old. It sort of glowed in the case. I couldn't take my eyes off it.
You like to look at the watch?
No. No, it's very interesting, but, how much can I get on this ring?
On this, I can lend you $150.
$150? The guy I won it off claimed it was worth more than $1,000.
$150?
I can probably get $500 for it, easy.
Then you would be foolish to accept my offer.
That's the best you can do?
$150.
I'll take it.
I will get the money.
While I waited, I felt my eyes drawn to the antique watch again. I picked it up. It felt warm in my hand, almost as if it were alive. Its face was covered with all sorts of dials and figures. The date of the month, phase of the moon, even the signs of the zodiac. Some of the dials I couldn't read at all. They were inscribed with strange characters, like hieroglyphics or ancient Sanskrit. Suddenly, I felt I had to have that watch.
100, 20, 40, 45, 150.
Can you tell me what all these dials mean?
I can tell you only that this watch controls many kinds of time. The fellow who pawned it claimed it could make time pass as slowly or as rapidly as he desired.
That's a pretty good trick.
Mm-hmm. But only a trick. Time is different for each of us, is it not?
What do you mean?
To a man sitting on a hot stove, 1 second lasts forever. But to a man making love, forever is only a second.
Yeah, I see what you mean. How much are you asking for the watch?
$150. Excuse me. Hello. Yes, one moment, please. Is your name Joe Adcock?
Yeah, why?
Yes, Mr. Adcock is here.
Who is it?
Who is calling? Hello. Hello? That is odd.
Nobody knew I was coming here. Who was it?
He did not identify himself. He just said, I would not believe him. Then he hung up.
It's funny. Say, now what about the guy who pawned this watch? Any chance of him wanting it back?
No, Mr. Adcock. He will not return for it. He has no further use for the watch.
Okay. Well, then I'll take it. I don't know why, but I've got to have it. I had no business buying the watch. It was a crazy thing to do. I hadn't walked more than a few steps from the pawn shop when I learned just how crazy.
Hold it, Adcock.
Well, who are you?
Just one of the boys.
What do you want?
A little talk. Private. In the alley here.
But I don't have
In the alley.
Ow, my arm.
You got the grand, Adcock?
I got until midnight to get it.
Yeah, that's right. The boss just wants me to make sure you don't forget. Like last time.
Oh, I won't forget, I promise.
I'll be waiting for you at midnight, right here by the pawn shop. Oh, and one more thing.
So what is it?
This.
Oh,
That's just to make sure you don't forget. If you don't show up with the dough, there ain't going to be no New Year for you. You understand?
Yes, I understand.
Good. See you at midnight.
I had to get back the 150. Maybe I could make a fast killing at the track with it, or something. I had to get it back.
Oh, back so soon, Mr. Adcock?
Yes, I made a mistake.
We all make mistakes. That is life.
Look, I've got to have that money back. Here's your watch.
My watch, Mr. Adcock? This is your watch. You bought it.
But I don't want it. I want the money.
A deal is a deal.
But you don't understand.
It is you who do not understand, Mr. Adcock. To sell the watch, you must find a buyer. I am not buying.
Look, you got to help me. Well, will you take the watch and pawn?
Of course. That is my business.
Well, how much can I get for it?
$5.
$5? Just a few minutes ago, I paid $150 for it.
It is unfortunate that I do not value it so highly now. $5?
No, thanks. $5 wouldn't help me. I had to have money, big money. My only chance now was to try to borrow it.
I know you've had an account here for years, Mr. Adcock, and of course we like to do what we can for our regular customers, but unless you have some collateral...
Well, what kind of collateral?
Oh, stocks, bonds, real estate.
If I had that kind of stuff, I wouldn't need the loan.
500? Joe, you're crazy. Hey, bartender, another beer.
All right, Harry. Make it a C note. Anything.
Yeah, well, what about the C note you borrowed last August?
Oh, I'll pay you back. Honest.
Yeah, I heard that last August.
Oh, Harry, how long have you known me?
10 years, I guess.
All right, 10 years. Doesn't that count for anything?
For a C note, it don't.
Oh, but Harry.
No.
Not a dime. Not a lousy dime. Only one thing left to do.
Central Flower Shop.
Molly, I want you to come home right now.
Joe, aren't you at work?
No, I'm home.
What's the matter? Are you sick?
I'm all right. Just come home and hurry.
Joe, what's wrong?
We've got to get out of town. Fast. It took only a few minutes to throw everything Molly and I owned into suitcases. I kept looking at the watch, wondering when Molly was going to show up.
At the tone signal, the correct time will be 2:30.
2:30? What's keeping her? Well, at least the watch is on time. I wonder when I ought to wind it. Might as well do it right now. If I can figure out which one of these knobs to use. I'll try this one. What the devil? Where did the sun go? It was shining a minute ago. Now it's snowing. Oh, blasted, I did get the wrong knob. I moved it back to the 28th, so now I've got... Hey, wait a minute. The 28th was Sunday, the day we had the big snowstorm. Could the watch have... it's impossible. I set it back to the 31st, and I... What the... Now the sun is shining. Did the watch change the day, or am I losing my mind? Maybe I could set it again, test it. Let me see. I was in that pawn shop just before 1 o'clock. I set the hour hand back to 12:45. There. Now we'll see. Is this the 3rd Avenue pawn shop?
Yes?
Is Joe Adcock there?
One moment, please. Is your name Joe Adcock?
Yeah, why?
Yes, Mr. Adcock is here.
Who is it?
Who is calling?
You wouldn't believe me if I told you. I could hardly believe it myself. But there was no question about it. The watch did control time. Once I'd grasped that fact, I began to realize its implications. For the first time in my life, I could have all the time I needed, all the time I wanted.
Joe! Joe. Oh, Joe, what's wrong?
Not a thing, Molly, not a thing.
But you said we had to leave town.
Oh, did I? Well, that's all over now.
Joe, what are you talking about? I'll probably lose my job
No, don't get excited. Well, I might as well tell you the whole story. I lied to you about the gambling, Molly. I'm $1,000 in debt. I've got to pay off by midnight, but...
You pawned my ring, didn't you?
But now, don't worry. I'll get it back.
You lied to me.
I said I'll get it
You
back.
had no right to pawn it. It's mine. I want my ring,
All
Joe.
right, I'll get it.
Now, right now.
I haven't got time now. I've got to get back to the bank before it closes.
Get my ring, you promised.
Will you quit nagging me about your blasted ring? Let me get back to the bank. We'll have enough money to buy you a dozen rings.
Joe, what are you going to do?
I'm going to rob the bank. What else? I had the watch figured out right. Robbing the bank would be as easy as taking pennies from a blind man. It was 2 minutes to 3 when I walked into the bank and headed for the vault.
Oh, hello, Mr. Adcock. Back again, I see.
Yeah, I've got to get into my safety deposit box.
Certainly. Go right ahead.
Good. Nobody else in here. Now, I just turned the watch back to Sunday, the 28th. It worked. I'm locked in the vault, and it's Sunday. Now, let's see where they keep the ready cash. There it is. Stacks of it, and all mine. Well, that's plenty for now. Enough to pay the mob and more. There's always more where this comes from. Now, reset the watch to December 31st. Perfect. The perfect crime. All I have to do is get out of here without letting them see the money.
Mr. Adcock.
Yes?
A happy and prosperous New Year to you, sir.
Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot. Molly! Hey, Molly. Molly, it worked. We're rich.
Have you been drinking?
No, not a drop. Here, look at this. Go on. Pick them up. They're real.
Joe, these are $1,000 bills. Where did you get them?
I robbed the bank.
Oh, come on, Joe.
I always told you I'd make it big someday. Well, today is the day. Now, you go out and buy yourself a dress. We're going to celebrate New Year's Eve in style.
Happy New Year, Joe. Happy New Year.
Yeah, come on. Let's get out of this crowd.
It's almost midnight. I thought we were going to celebrate. You were going to take me to a nightclub.
Yeah. But first, I got to meet a guy at midnight. Come on.
Ooh.
A guy. I got to pay off that gambling debt.
Well, where are you meeting him?
It's just a block away in front of the pawn shop.
The pawn shop? My ring. Joe, you forgot my ring.
Oh, for Pete's sake. I'll get your lousy ring back. Just give me a little time.
Oh, a little time. That's the story of your life, isn't it, Joe? Just give me a little time. Well, all right. I'll give you all the time you want, all the rest of your life. I'm through with you, Joe. I just can't take it anymore.
Molly, don't leave me. Molly, come back.
Happy New Year.
Well, what happened? Molly just disappeared. The street is deserted. Molly! Hey, where is everybody? I wonder if this crazy watch had anything to do with the 32nd. It should have clicked over to January 1st. Oh, no wonder everybody disappeared. There isn't any 32nd of December. I'll just reset it. It's stuck. It won't budge. Oh, it's got to move. It's just... Oh, no. It can't be broken. I can't stay in the 32nd of December forever. I've got to fix it. I've got to get the back off. I've got to get it to works. There. But there's nothing inside. It's the 32nd of December. And it will always be the 32nd of December.
Suspense, in which Frank Lovejoy starred in William N. Robeson's production of The 32nd of December, written by Morris Lee Green and William Walker. Supporting Frank Lovejoy in The 32nd of December were Joan Banks, Barney Phillips, Sam Pierce, and Norm Alden. Listen again next week when we return with another tale well calculated to keep you in suspense.
Tonight, thrill with Gunsmoke on the CBS Radio Network.
The Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation brings you Crime Photographer.
Hey, Ethelbert.
Oh, hello, Casey.
What's Tony Marvin worrying about over there?
Why, he's writing a holiday poem. And he's stuck for something to rhyme with Christmas stocking.
But, Ethelbert, are you kidding?
Certainly not. Oh, you mean Anchor Hocking.
Oh, gee, fellas, that's wonderful. Anchor Hocking. A great name in glass. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tony Marvin. Every week at this time, the Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation of Lancaster, Ohio, and its more than 10,000 employees bring you another adventure of Casey, crime photographer, ace cameraman who covers the crime news of a great city. Written by Alonzo Dean Cole. Our adventure for tonight, Christmas shopping. Late afternoon, a crowded aisle in one of our city's largest department stores. Making slow headway through the jostling shoppers are...
Casey, I've never seen the store so crowded.
We say that every year during the week before Christmas, Annie. Where are you taking me now, huh?
Well, you haven't anything for your Aunt Harriet yet, so I thought we'd look at umbrellas there. On this side of the store somewhere.
Yeah. Annie, look, you can pick up a much nicer umbrella for Aunt Harriet than I can. I trust your judgment, absolutely, Annie. So suppose
I shop for all the uninteresting items while you go up to the toy department and watch the electric trains again.
Well, you know I've still got to pick up a few more things for my sister's kids, Annie. And hey, Annie, wait a minute. Hang on to your pocketbook. Keep an eye on that little guy in the black overcoat just ahead of us.
Who?
That's Fingers Fogarty. One of the best-known dips in the city.
Pickpocket?
Yep. Shove through this mob a little faster, Annie. Now, keep him in sight. I think he's closing in on a prospect.
You mean he's made up his mind about whose pocket he's going to pick?
Sure, smart dips like Fingers don't dive into just anybody's pocket. They hang around bars and wait for some guy to flash a roll, and they tail him. If he gets into a crowd like this... Look, Fogarty's doing his stuff now, Henny.
No.
Yeah. That big fat guy he just bumped into. Fingers took a wallet from his inside pocket.
Well, I didn't see him.
Neither did the fat guy. Fingers is a smooth worker. Come on. He'll feel very badly when we stop his special brand of Christmas shopping, but pocket picking is considered antisocial. I've got to get Mr. Fogarty.
Well, he squeezed through the crowd. I can't see him anymore.
Neither can I.
Look, Casey, yell out for somebody to stop him.
Oh, well, I yell, stop thief.
Well, you can't let him get away.
He won't get away. Every cop in this precinct knows Fingers. He'll be picked up quick after a charge is brought against him. I'll help that guy who lost his wallet bring the charge.
Yes, if you appear as a witness.
I will.
There's the fat man.
Excuse me, mister. Huh? Something happened to you a minute ago that I don't think you know about.
What do you mean?
Your pocket was picked.
My pocket?
Yeah. A little guy bumped into you, and as he did, I saw his hand go into your inside pocket and come out with a wallet. Well, I happen to know who he is, and when you report your loss to the cops, I'll be glad.
You're mistaken, mister. I didn't lose my wallet.
Huh? I'm sure.
I'm more sure.
I tell you, I saw him.
When a guy sees something that couldn't be seen, he's either goofy or drunk. On your way, fella.
Well, I'll be...
Good thing you didn't get your hands on Fingers, Fogarty. He could have plastered you with a nice suit for false arrest.
And I know he took a wallet from that fat guy's pocket. I was watching every move that Fingers made.
Well, I was watching him, too, and I didn't see him take anything. And that fat man says he didn't lose a wallet, so...
Okay, I'm goofy or drunk.
Or maybe you only need glasses.
Well, I do after this. Several glasses. Let's head for the Blue Note.
You and Casey get your Christmas shopping done this afternoon, Miss Williams?
Well, I accomplished quite a lot, Ethelbert, but not Casey. He got sore, and after that, nothing would please him.
What'd you get sore about, pal?
Nothing.
Oh, he had a little eye trouble.
Oh, gee, that's too bad. Did you see spots floating in front of you, Casey?
My eyes are okay. Now fill that glass up again, Ethelbert, and don't ask so many silly questions.
Mine, too, Ethelbert.
Right away, Miss Williams.
Oh, now, Casey, don't you think it's about time you snapped out of your grouch?
Well...
It's pretty silly to get yourself all burned up just because you made a mistake.
I didn't make a mistake, Annie. Fingers Fogarty took a wallet from that fat guy's pocket. What burns me up is I didn't find out why the fat guy denied it.
Well, how could you have found out?
Oh, I don't know. But I'm supposed to be a newspaper guy, Annie. Well, we may have missed a story with pictures.
Here's your refreshment, folks.
Oh, thanks, Ethelbert.
Say, have you stopped into your office since you finished shopping?
Hey, bartender, who's the boss here?
Well, what do you want?
You want to buy a nice Christmas tree?
You got some nice ones?
A wagon full of them, fresh from Nova Scotia.
Let's see one.
Well, I'll be right back.
Say, Casey, have you two stopped in at your office since you finished your shopping?
Certainly not. This is our day off.
Then you ain't heard the big news yet.
What big news?
One of your police reporters, Jake Birkin, was in a few minutes ago and tipped me off about it. Gee, he was all excited.
What happened, Ethelbert?
About half an hour ago, the cops arrested the kidnapper and murderer of Gregory Walters.
They did?
Where?
Well, where'd they get him?
Well, like you know, before the Walters family paid over that $50,000 ransom to the kidnapper, the FBI made a list of the serial numbers on the bills, which they circulated all over the country.
Of course, we know all that, Ethelbert.
How's this tree, mister? Nice and bushy, huh?
Let's see one a little taller.
A little taller, okay.
Ethelbert, will you tell us about that kidnapper?
Oh, I'm getting to it.
Well, come on.
Well, a guy walks into a tavern over on 36th Street tonight, orders a drink, and hands a barkeep a $20 bill with one of them hot numbers on it. The barkeep checks the number, calls a cop, and when the cop searched the guy, he found about $500 more of the ransom dough in his pocket.
Well, Ethelbert, who is the guy who had the ransom dough? The cops identified him yet?
Well, they knew him as soon as they laid eyes on him.
But, Ethelbert, who is he? Please.
Hey. Is this tray big enough, mister?
Let's see. Well, let's see one a little thicker around the bottom.
Thicker around the bottom.
Ethelbert, will you please
Casey
tell
and
us?
I know him. He's always been a small-time crook, and I was surprised to learn he was mixed up with anything so big as kidnapping and murder.
Oh, say, will you tell us?
I am telling you. It's that little runt, Fingers Fogarty.
Fingers Fogarty?
Yeah, the dip.
He had Walter's ransom dough on him?
About $500, just like I said. Naturally, Fingers denies having anything to do with the kidnapping. He said he lifted the dough out of the pocket of a guy who was Christmas shopping in S.J. Franken's department store.
Franken's?
Around 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Casey Franken.
And that fat guy denied he's been robbed.
Do you think he was the
I
one?
can't see Fingers as a kidnapper. He's always been just a slimy little sneak thief.
Hey, what's this about a fat guy, Casey?
Annie, come on. We're going to tell Logan what happened in Franken's.
Well, what did happen,
Well, never
Casey?
mind. You'll hear it later, Ethelbert. So long.
So long.
Hey, is this one big enough for you, mister?
I tell them two a whole complete news story in 2 short words, then they run off and leave me out on a limb.
What limb? Too big?
Oh, you? Oh, no, we've got to have a really big tree.
So you think Fingers Fogarty may be just the victim of circumstances, Casey? Circumstances peculiar to his profession.
Miss Williams and I have told you what happened, Logan. You can add it up.
Captain, have you got anything on Fogarty outside of the $500 found in his pocket?
Not yet, Miss Williams. The joint he lives in is being searched, but we don't think he was chump enough to hide the rest of his ransom money there.
If he lifted the 5 C's from that fat guy, he has no rest of the dough to hide.
Now, look, Casey. Fingers Fogarty knows you pretty well, doesn't he?
Yeah, sure, he knows me, certainly.
Now, hasn't it occurred to you that he may have put on an act for your benefit?
I don't get you.
Now, let's assume that Fingers is the real kidnapper. It's been over a year since the ransom money was paid. Fingers has been careful. He hasn't tried to pass any of the 50 grand because he knows it's red hot. But now he figures the heat has died down, so he sends up a trial balloon.
How do you mean trial balloon?
Well, he's got a record as a dip, Miss Williams. He figures if he gets caught passing that dough, we'll believe that he lifted the money from a guy's pocket. And to cinch it, he acts like he's lifting it from a guy's pocket while Casey is watching him. He picked you for his star witness, pal.
Logan, hasn't it occurred to you that the fat guy might have been sending up that trial balloon?
Huh? What do you mean?
Assume the fat guy is the real kidnapper. And he wants to know how safe it is to pass those ransom bills. He knows that Fingers is a pickpocket. Well, he goes to one of the little runt's hangouts and flashes a roll in front of him. And then he leaves the joint, saunters into a crowded store where it'll be easy for Fingers to work, and Fingers does exactly what's expected of him.
That's a reasonable theory, Captain.
Well, sure. If Fingers gets caught passing that dough, the kidnapper learns about it from the papers and continues to let the money cool off. Also, Fingers has a long record. You cops won't believe anything he tells you. You'll tag him as the Walters kidnapper, which will leave the real one sitting pretty. The only thing the real kidnapper didn't figure was that someone might see Fingers take his wallet.
Well, maybe you got something there, Casey. You and Miss Williams have never seen that fat guy before?
No, but we'll know him if we see him again, though.
Definitely.
Your description might fit 1,000 guys in this town. I want you two to go up to the record room and look at some pictures we've got in the files.
Oh, great. That'll only take us about 4 or 5 hours, Logan.
Oh, Casey. And this was to have been our night off.
Perhaps you'll forgive this last-minute reminder, but there are now exactly 4 more shopping days until Christmas. That means a very real problem to those of us who like to put things off, as who doesn't? Is there anyone you've overlooked? Anyone to whom you want to give something beautiful, practical, and inexpensive? Well, you'll find the answer in Fire King oven glass. Whether it's a single Fire King casserole or an entire set of Fire King oven glass, prices are unbelievably low, and it'll take a minimum of shopping time at your favorite chain, variety, hardware, or department store. So remember, with housekeeping a real problem in this post-war era, Fire King oven glass is a gift that makes it easier in so many ways, because Fire King makes foods go farther and enables you to turn leftovers into delicious main courses. Fire King oven glass is a product of Anchor Hocking. A great name in glass.
I don't recognize any picture here, Logan.
Oh, me either. Oh, golly. Captain, why don't you have some good-looking crooks in your files? I'm going to have nightmares looking at pictures of so many ugly men.
You should see the women.
Logan, you know, there's one picture here that bothers me. It resembles the guy a lot, but well, look at the description that goes with it.
Nick Pensa, Woolstock Prison, discharged 1944, armed robbery. Age 30, height 5 feet. Well, you said your fat guy was a 6-footer and at least 45 years old.
Yeah. He weighed a good 250 plus, too. This Nick Pence's weight is given as only 135.
Well, they can't be the same man, then.
No, not a chance. Funny, though, there is a resemblance.
Well, we need more than that. Let's all go home and get some sleep.
Me for that.
Me, too. I'm so tired I can't think.
I'm falling over. I'll murder anybody who wakes me up before noon tomorrow. Oh, no, thank you. No, thanks. Oh. Hello.
Morning, Annie.
Who's this?
Wake up, kid. It's Casey.
Casey? Oh, Casey.
Casey, yeah, you remember me, don't you?
Yes, I do, and it's only 9 o'clock, and what is the big idea?
Annie, look, I think I know where to look for that fat guy.
You do?
I certainly do. The old bean wasn't working last night. But when I woke up a few minutes ago, I had it. The strong resemblance between that young half-pint crook, Nick Pensa, and our big, fat, 45-year-old guy can't be just coincidental, Annie. They must be relatives, maybe brothers.
Mm-hmm. Go on.
Well, I've looked in the phone book and found only one Pensa listed, John Pensa, contractor, who lives and does business out on Dudley Road. I thought you might like to drive out there with me and see what John Pensa looks like.
Why don't you have the cops go out and look at him?
But, Annie, you're not awake yet. Only you and I can identify that fat guy. Besides, if you and I find him, Annie, we get an exclusive. The cops are in on it. Every paper in town will have
Well, I'm awake now, all right. Where'll I meet you?
I'll be outside your door with a car in 15 minutes.
Casey, I've got to dress.
We'll make it a half an hour, then.
We'll make it a full hour, and no sooner.
Well, what are you going to dress, yourself or a Christmas tree? Listen, Annie, I can bathe, shave, and get into my clothes in 10 minutes.
I put on underwear. Goodbye.
We're getting close to that address, Annie.
Yeah. This isn't a very attractive neighborhood.
No. John Pensa, contractor, can't be much of a concern.
And John Pensa, contractor, may be no relation whatever to the Nick Pensa in the police files.
The name's very unusual, Anne. I have a hunch.
Uh-oh. There's the place.
Yeah. I'll stop here so we can look the joint over.
Well, there's a concrete garage attached to the house with a good-sized truck inside and room for another.
Concrete mixer in the workyard.
Oh, Casey, established businessmen don't go in for kidnapping. I think we're on a wild goose chase.
Annie, that guy coming out of the garage.
What about him? He's just a skinny little...
Annie, you need glasses and a more photographic memory.
He's the man of that police picture.
Of course, Nick Pensa. Now I know my hunch was right.
He's looking over here.
Well, he's never seen us before, but I'll get rolling anyway.
Now, how can we find out if he has a fat brother?
Well, drop into one of these neighborhood stores and make a few inquiries.
Then what?
Well, how can I tell until I find out what I hope to find out? Annie, you're the darndest girl for asking questions. You really are. Now, let's stop there. Well, we'll stop here. We'll go into this little drugstore right here. The druggist usually knows everybody in the neighborhood. Come on.
Okay, but I think it would be simpler and more sensible to make inquiries at the precinct police station.
I don't want the cops in on this until we know where we stand. Here, let me do the talking.
It's your party, wise guy. You handle everything.
What can I do for you young people?
Hello, Pop. We're going to have, what kind of ice cream soda do you want, Annie?
If I must have an ice cream soda, chocolate.
Chocolate. Same for me.
2 chocolate sodas.
That's right. Oh, by the way, I'm looking for a party in this neighborhood by the name of Pensa. I imagine you know the family well.
Pensa?
Yeah.
Never heard the name before.
You never heard it?
Change my order to raspberry.
Yes, miss. 1 raspberry. I'm just a stranger here. Come down from upstate to handle this place while my son's away hunting. Maybe my granddaughter can tell you what you want to know. Say, Katie.
Yes, Grandpa?
Come here. Fella's looking for a party by the name of Penner.
Penner?
No, not Penner. Pensa.
Oh, I know the Pensas. All of them.
You do? That's swell. Eh?
Mr. Pensa lives down the street.
Uh-huh.
Over his office. He's a contractor.
What's he look like? Is he...
Is Mr. Pensa short and skinny, and his first name's Nick.
Well, Nick Pensa's not the contractor.
Yes, he is. Ever since he got out of prison, a couple of years ago.
You say somebody's gone to prison, Katie?
No, Grandpop. They've come out.
That serves him right, then.
The man's reformed now.
Oh, that's bad, very bad.
Grandpop's a little deaf.
Yeah, I can see that. Sister, I understand that my friend, Nick, has a brother or a cousin.
No.
Maybe an uncle?
No.
Here's the sodas. Who gets your raspberry?
He does.
Here you are, mister.
Thanks.
And, Mr. Casey, you have earned it.
Sister, you mean Mr. Nick Pencer has no relatives at all?
He's got a sister and a nephew.
Oh, that's a great help.
How old's the nephew? About 10?
No, ma'am. It's the funniest thing. Mr. Gus Pencer's a lot older than his uncle.
Huh?
Mr. Gus is Mr. Nick's partner, I think. And he comes in here all the time.
What does Mr. Gus Pencer look like?
Well, he's tall and fat, and in the face he looks like Mr. Nick.
Annie, give me that chocolate. You take the raspberry.
Here's Mr. Gus now.
Oh, Casey.
He's our fat guy.
Mr. Gus, these people were just asking about you. They're friends of Mr. Nick.
Oh, that's bad. Is that so?
He recognizes us, Casey.
Yeah.
Wasn't it lucky I dropped in here when I did to find friends of Nick's? Grandpop, go back to your back room and put me up 2 bits worth of turpentine.
2 bits worth of turpentine?
Go along and help him, Sissy. He can never find anything.
I'll show him, Mr. Gus.
You two were asking about me.
You've been told that we were.
I noticed a car outside with a press sign on it. Yours?
Yeah.
And you were looking for me because of what you happened to see in Franken's yesterday.
If I said no, you wouldn't believe me.
Right. This hand in my pocket has a gun in it, mister. So do exactly as I tell you.
Okay.
Remember, and don't pull anything.
Here's a bottle of terps.
Thanks, Grandpa. Here's your 2 bits. Come on with me, folks. You said you wanted to pay Nick a visit.
Casey.
We got no choice, Annie.
Right. So long, Grandpa.
Say, ain't you folks going to finish your sodas?
No, we lost our appetites.
You didn't take even a sip of your raspberry, mister.
That's what you think, sister.
Get into your car. Both in the front seat. You drive, fella. I'll sit in back with this gat.
Well, I drive, too.
Just down the street to Nick's place. Mine. He and I are partners in everything. And he'll be tickled to see old friend. Turn into the workyard and park in our garage. And next to the truck there.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now what do we do?
You and your boyfriend don't do anything, lady. And to make sure you don't...
You hit Casey with your gun.
And you get the shape. That'll keep the two of you quiet for a while. Nick! Nick!
Yeah? What do you want, Gus?
Come into the garage, quick.
Okay. Whose car you got in there?
You'll see. Come inside and help me close these doors.
Okay. There. What's the idea?
Take a look inside this car.
Who's the guy and the dame?
They're the two I told you about last night. Saw that dip take the hot dough from my pocket. They got wise to the layout and located us.
They police?
No. These two are newspaper mugs. I figure they were making this play on their own, so we got to take care of them.
We can't bump them off here.
We can. We do it nice, clean, and quiet. Get those big spools of adhesive tape from the house.
What are you going to do?
You'll see. Get that tape.
Yeah. Got the gal all tied up, Gus.
Then help me with this guy.
Yeah.
Wrap some more tape around his ankles.
Okay. Yeah. He's fixed now and solid.
All right. Now climb into that truck and start the motor, Nick.
Oh, the carbon monoxide treatment, huh?
Yeah. Nice, clean, and quiet. You just lock them in this closed garage to breathe the gas. Tonight, when it's dark, we get rid of their bodies in their car. Start the motor.
Anne, I worked the tape off my mouth against that fender. Nod your head if you're okay, kid. Good. I'm going to try to pull the adhesive tape off your wrists with my teeth. getting lightheaded. Gas is beginning to work. I got the tape. Now pull and turn your wrists. Pull more, Annie. There, that did it. Your hands are free. Pull the tape off your mouth now. Keep your head down low, kid. Try to hold on.
I will.
Pull this tape off my hands.
You better let me free my ankles first so I can get to that truck and shut off the motor.
No. Free my hands. Those two guys may be just outside where they can hear.
Yes, but if it keeps on running, we'll...
If it doesn't keep on running, we'll have no second chance like this. Free my hands.
All right. I've got the end loose.
Pull now. There, does it. Now, unwind your ankles while I get this stuff off of mine.
What good will it do us? We can't get out of here.
We'll get out. Don't breathe, Judy.
This
Get out.
garage is solid concrete. And I heard them lock those heavy doors when they went out. So...
There, I've got my ankles free. Hang on, kid. I'm picking you up.
What are you going to do?
I'm putting you in this truck.
This truck? Why?
It's taking us out of here. Keep your head down.
Okay.
I'm driving through those doors.
Okay, we're through. Pure air.
Wait a minute, look. Also, those two Pensa guys, they heard us.
Listen, they have guns, too. Step on the gas, Casey. Drive past them. Let's get away.
I can't.
You can't. What's the
I
matter?
stalled the motor. Duck, they're shooting.
Oh, why are they running away? They're getting into that car.
We're going to try to get away. If I can only get this motor started again. That did it. Now, come on.
Casey, don't drive toward their car. They'll stop
I'm driving into their car. This 10-ton truck does a nice job when it hits a tin can like that.
Oh, Casey. My nerves will never be the same again.
I'll never recognize mine either. Come on, let's call City Desk. Get the cops out here so we can get to the Blue Note. I need another pair of glasses. The kind you fill.
Recently, in a big eastern city, a group of trained men and women called on thousands of housewives and asked this simple question. What kind of container do you prefer for the food you buy? An overwhelming majority of housewives said they preferred to buy food packed in glass. Among them were a great many mothers of small children, and by a ratio of more than 8-to-1, these mothers said they insisted on prepared baby foods packed in glass. They gave many reasons, as you might expect. But here are the 3 reasons mentioned most frequently. First, glass lets you see what you buy before you buy it. Second, you can heat, serve, and store leftover portions of prepared baby food in the same glass container. And third, these young mothers agreed that sterilized glass containers are cleaner and more sanitary. You can buy an increasing number of the better brands of food packed in glass. And all of the better brands of prepared baby food come to you in Anchor glass containers sealed with tamper-proof Anchor vacuum caps. Both products of Anchor Hawking. A great name in glass.
You didn't kill them 2 kidnappers when you threw that truck at them, Casey?
No, Bethelbert, no. The cops pulled them out of the wreckage in fairly good shape, considering.
They'll be able to walk to the chair.
How about the ransom money? Did the cops find it?
Yeah. Gus, the fat guy, confessed the Walters kidnapping and told where he and Nick had hidden the dough.
Gee, and all because you and Miss Williams did some Christmas shopping. Say, what happened to the little dip, Fingers Fogarty?
Well, in trying to clear himself of the kidnap and murder charge, Ethelbert, Fingers made so many admissions about his own specialty that the cops can keep him in jail until 1999.
Gee, 1999, huh?
Good heavens, Casey. What's that coming in the door?
What on earth?
What do you say, mister? That's the biggest tree I got on the wagon, okay?
Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, now that's what I call a real Christmas tree.
Ethel, but what are you going to do with such a big tree?
Well, you couldn't get a little tree in that big room.
Crime Photographer, starring Stotts Cotsworth as Casey, is brought to you each Thursday at this time by the Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation, makers of Fire King Oven Glass. Anchor glass containers, Anchor caps and closures. All products of the Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation, a great name in glass. Crime Photographer, directed by John Dietz, is written by Alonzo Dean Cole and is based on the fictional character of Casey, created by George Harmon Cox. The original music is by Archie Blyer, and the program features Miss Leslie Woods as Anne and John Gibson as Ethelbert. Herman Chittison is the Blue Note pianist. Thursday night on CBS is the biggest show in town, so stay tuned for exciting dramatizations on Reader's Digest Radio Edition, which follows immediately over most of these stations. Now, for our sponsor, the Anchor Hocking Glass Corporation, and all of us on the show, this is Tony Marvin wishing every one of you a joyful and happy holiday at this Christmas time. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Everyone, you are now listening to WLS, the voice of Prairie Farmer, America's oldest farm paper, Chicago.
The Johnson Wax Program. Makers of Johnson's Wax deliver a dippy divertisement of department store delirium and delightful ditties with Rico Martelli's orchestra, Kay Donna, Claire Baum, and that slightly cuckoo couple of confused customers, Fibber, McGee, and Molly. All right, right this way, folks, right this way. Elevators to all floors. Yes, Sonny, toys on the 14th. Back in the car, please. Don't push. All right, that's all, folks. Going up. Okay, boy. All out here, folks, the 14th floor, Wistful Vista Department Store. Here's where you buy your Johnson Wax, your kitchenware and copper tax, your cigar department, Pure Havana, Marcelli's Orchestra, Kay Donna, Flowcoat, Christmas trees, and holly. Hello there, Fibber. Hi there, Molly.
Fountain pens, did I hear you say?
And what's Marshmallow going to play?
Pens, madam? Try the new Nick Lico while the band plays Liza. Take it, Rico.
Thanks to the makers of Johnson's Wax, you can now have beautiful polished floors and linoleum without any work of rubbing or buffing. Just try Johnson's Glow Coat, the remarkable liquid floor polish that shines as it dries. Your floors will take on new life and beauty, and your work will be much easier from the day you first use Johnson's Glow Coat. find Fibber, McGee, and Molly on the 14th floor of the Wistful Vista department store. Don't crowd, please.
Where do we got to go first, Molly? On account of because I want to go downstairs and look at some golf clubs.
You'll see no golf clubs today, McGee. Where's the list?
What list?
The shopping list, isn't it? That I give you before we left the house.
Shucks, is that what that was?
Yes, that's what it was. And I sat up all night making it out, too. Where is it, McGee?
I folded it up and stuck it into the toe of my overshoes, Molly. They was too big. You see, I bought them 2 sizes too big when they had that there sale at the Bonton Bootery on account of because they was all out of my size. But shucks, I think the sale's a sale, I think. So I bought...
Take off your overshoes and give me that shopping list.
I can't do it, Molly.
Why can't you?
I ain't got 'em on. It wasn't sloppy out, so that...
Heavenly days, what a man.
That's what everybody says, Molly.
Oh, well, we'll just have to get along the best we can without the list. Now, let's see. I know we was going to get Teeny a doll.
Pardon me, can I get by?
Oh, I'll say so, baby. Any place.
McGee, step aside, you're blocking the aisle.
Oh, okay. Excuse me, ma'am.
Don't mention it.
Oh, just a minute, ma'am. Can you tell us where the toy department is?
Certainly. 3 aisles over to your left. I'm going to buy the little boy a sled.
What little boy? Oh, yeah. Hey, come back here. I'll tell you what.
My, you're sure quick on the snappy comebacks, McGee. Oh, yes, is he? How do you ever think of him so quick now?
Oh, shucks, Molly.
What's that noise?
That's the rapping counter, Molly. You get it? I says that's it.
Ah, it ain't funny, McGee.
Okay.
Come on now. The toy department, I guess.
Right over there, folks, for your free coupons. Get a Christmas tree delivered to your home free. Get a lucky number ticket, folks.
Okay, Bob, give me a coupon.
Right over there, sir. The man at the escalator will give you one.
Shucks, can't you give me one?
No, sir. They'll hand you one on the escalator.
Okay. Shucks, then let the fellow walk all the way. Hey, Molly, wait a minute.
Hurry up, McGee. Where have you been?
Hey, Molly, what's an osculator?
Osculator?
Yeah.
Why, osculator is a kisser.
Okay. Oh, so that's it, huh?
Here, where are you going, McGee?
I gotta see that smart guy that says he's gonna hand me one on the osculator.
Come back here. He meant the escalator, the moving stairway. Don't be silly.
Oh, the escalator. Oh, gee, here's the toy department, Molly. Get a load of them little trains. Ain't they cute?
Please don't play with the toys, sir. Let them alone, McGee.
Oh, shucks. They seem to be real tender about their locomotives in here.
Have you any dolls, ma'am?
Oh, yes, madam. What kind of dolls? Japanese, Eskimo, Mae West, Republic, Shirley Temple, walking dolls?
Oh, no. Just ordinary dolls.
Well, we have some lovely Joe and Crawford dolls, madam.
No, I want just...
And the sweetest Ginger Rogers doll for only...
Hey, Molly, how do you like the drum? Pretty nifty, ain't it?
Don't bother me, McGee. Haven't you just a plain mama doll?
No, but we have the loveliest Claudette Colbert dolls
and no mama dolls. Well, can you beat it?
I'll say I can. Listen.
Please, sir, don't handle the toy.
Put it down, McGee.
But shucks, Molly, you asked me could I beat it, didn't you?
Yes, but I...
Huh?
No, I didn't. Oh, never mind. Listen, ma'am. Have you no plain, ordinary doll that says Mama?
I'm sorry, madam, but all the dolls this year are the Shirley Temple type, or Mae West, or the Princess, or...
Heavenly days, McGee, be quiet.
I was just trying to see if these here horns was through the pitch. I remember when I played first cornet in Sioux City Silver Saxophone Symphony, I was sitting there watching...
Oh, for goodness sakes, McGee. Will you go and sit down someplace like buy me a doll?
Okay. But remember, Molly, dolls don't say Mama anymore. Ain't modern. They say, how am I doing? Hey. Something like that. Ain't I right, ma'am?
No, sir.
Oh, well, I thought I'd mention. Gee, look at here.
You say, madam, you want to...
I got it. A real Indian bow and arrow. Shucks, I ain't shot one of these here bow and arrows since 40 years ago. Real stiff bend to it, too. Now, if that rocking horse over there was an antelope... Oh!
For heaven's sake, what happened, sir? What'd you do now, McGee?
I was just going to ask what you do. Did you drop one of them dogs through the counter or something? Say, how much are these here building blocks, ma'am?
Never you mind the blocks, McGee. Did you or did you not shoot that bow and arrow?
Listen, Molly, the floor walker's going to make an announcement.
Friends and customers of the Wistful Vista department store, Senor Marcelli and his toy department troubadours will entertain you with a selection entitled Red Sails in the Sunset. Miss Kay Donna from our sheet music department will sing. Miss Kay Donna.
Hey, sail away, Red.
Way out on the sea, oh, carry my loved one home safely to me. He sailed up the dawning, all day I've been blue. Red sails in the sunset, I'm trusting in you. Swift wings you must borrow, make straight for the shore. We marry tomorrow, and he goes sailing no more. Red sails in the sunset, way out on the sea. Oh, carry my one home safely to me.
McGee. Huh? Tell me, did you or did you not shoot the bow and arrow through the showcase?
No, sir. It's impossible.
All right, then what if I says I saw you shoot the arrow and drop the bow and quick pick up the building block?
Well, I say you was absolutely right, Molly.
Then why do you say it was impossible?
Why, shucks, Molly. You can't shoot a bow and arrow through a showcase. You can shoot an arrow, but you can't shoot a bow.
March over and pay for that showcase glass.
Okay. I was going anyway. But hey, look, Molly. By golly. Did you ever see such a big jack-in-the-box as that guy?
Don't be always changing the subject, McGee.
I ain't, but just look at this here jack-in-the-box, Molly. Say, I'll bet Teeny'd be tickled pink to get one like this here.
Keep your hands off of it, McGee. Must experiment with everything in the toy department?
Oh, shucks, I just want to see what the dad-rather thing looks like when it's open. How in front could be open there? There must be a catch to it. Oh, here it is. Up.
Hello, friend.
Oh, I know there was a catch to it.
Well, I certainly am glad you opened the subject, Fibber, because I just wanted to tell you about Johnson's Glow Coat, the remarkable no-rubbing floor polish that makes your floors sparkle and gleam without any work of rubbing or buffing. Now is the time to brighten your floors and kitchen linoleum. They'll shine like new in a few minutes' time if you use Glow Coat. They'll be protected, too, from scuff marks and wear, and they'll stay clean and polished for weeks at a time. You have no idea how much better your floors will look and how much less floor cleaning you'll have to do until you use Johnson's Glow Coat. This fine, no-rubbing liquid floor polish is made by the makers of Johnson's Wax. Look for the attractive yellow cap. And now, Fibber, I'd better get back in my box. Will you push this lid down on my head, please?
Sure, Harpo. With pleasure. Oh! Hey, Molly, let's get out of this dad-ratted crowd.
Oh, for heaven's sake, McGee, we're not half through yet. You carry the dog.
You betcha. This one here?
Oh, let go of me! McGee, set that girl down. What's the idea?
Chuck, you told me to carry this doll, and I was going to...
Stop clowning. I meant this doll of Teeny.
Oh.
Excuse him, man. Come on, McGee.
Say, Molly, I got to stop at the cigar department and get some cigars for more toots.
But more toots don't smoke cigars, McGee.
I know, but I'll teach him. I know the ropes. Hey, sis, where's the cigar counter?
Just opposite the elevator, sir. Oh, have you tried our new shaving lotion, sir?
No, I never used it.
Oh, it's a delicious odor, mister.
Oh.
We call it Moonflower Madness for masculine males. And we also have a lovely bay rum for men. It's French fragrance for petite faces. And our top hat's talcum. Oh, you just
Have you
enjoy
tried Johnson's Glow Coat, Flora?
My name ain't Flora.
I was just going to tell you that Johnson's Glow Coat is the best beauty treatment for Flora. But if your name ain't Flora, we'll just let it go.
Oh, McGee. Quit your tapping and come on.
Okay. Just for a minute, I was scared she was going to squirt some of that there Fleur de Fatunia all over my face.
Well, come on now, hurry up. Oh. Excuse me, mister. I didn't see you coming.
Excuse me, ma'am. Say, where's the book department?
The book? Why, there's...
Next floor down, Bud. Next floor down. 4 rows back and 2 to the right.
Oh, say.
Don't mention it. Come on, Molly.
McGee, why, the books is on this floor. You sent the poor fella down to the necktie department.
I know it. You see, Molly, he had his shopping list in his hand, and all the names was checked off but his father. And when I seen his face, I knowed that anybody that had a son looked like that wasn't smart enough to read a book if he did get one. But even the dumbest folks wears neckties. Pretty quick thinking, if I do say so myself, you shouldn't.
Well, here's the tobacco counter, McGee.
Where?
Right up there, isn't it?
Well, I don't see no tobacco department.
Oh, use your eyes, McGee. Don't you see the sign?
What sign?
Why, right there before your face, the one that says, accessories for the devotees of my lady nicotine.
Well, what in tunkett's that got to do with smoking?
There's something in smoking accessories, sir.
You see, McGee?
Oh, shucks. You ought to put some chewing tobacco or a corncob pipe on the counter or something. How's the feller to know
You
that...
carry cigars, mister?
Yes, indeed, madam. Yes, indeed.
Okay, Bud. Trot 'em out.
Yes, sir. Now, here's a very special import, exclusive with us, a clear Cuban cigar in the new Streamlined Panatella. Only $7.50 a box.
Say, them looks good. How many in a box, son? 200?
Oh, no, sir. 10 cigars.
10 cigars for $7.50? Yeah. What are they rolled out of, gold leaf?
How much did you wish to pay, sir?
Why, Chuck, I was looking for twopers.
Twopers?
Sure, twopers. Two for nickel.
Oh, I'm afraid, sir, we couldn't accommodate you with an inferior brand.
You better get him someplace else.
Hey, listen, Bud. Don't tell me nothing about no inferior tobacco. You're talking to old tobacco man.
Quit chewing, tobacco man.
Now, wait a minute, Molly. Listen, Bud. You know what they used to call me? Hampa McGee, they called me. Hampa McGee, the tip-top tornado of the tobacco trade. Why? I had me the finest tobacco plantation in the whole world, down in Costa Rica. Why, shucks. Never used to ship tobacco FOB like they do now.
No, sir?
No, sir. They shipped at AM.
In the morning?
No, ask McGee. I'll never forget the time I had me my tobacco farm right next to old Burpo Bauer's rubber plantation. You want to hear about it, Bud?
I'm afraid not, sir. I have to...
Well, sir, this was way back in 1899. Or was it? No, it was 1902. Or 3. Let's see now. Come to think of it, it was 19...
Pretty tobacco pouch you have here, mister. The tan one.
Tan. That was it. 1910. Well, sir, I had me the finest, strongest, mellowest tobacco anyplace. And old Burpo Bowers, he had the adjoining plantation full of rubber trees. Well, sir, one day during Hurricane 1911, the fence blew down between the plantations, and some of his rubber plants got into my tobacco, and some of my tobacco got into his rubber plants. I thought my crop was ruined till I tried smoking some of it one day. And then when I see the smoke rings I blew bouncing and hopping across the field, I knowed I had something. I made $2 million in 3 weeks, blowing rubber smoke ring auto tires for the export trade.
Well, what did your tobacco do to Bauer's rubber crop?
Oh, it ruined his rubber crop into that part of the field. On account of because when they made teething rings out of his rubber, they had to give the kids spittoons to go with them.
Wait a minute, McGee. There's the radio department. I want to price the midget radios. Yoo-hoo! Are you busy, ma'am? Not at all. Can I help you?
Hey, ain't you the gal that waited on us in the toy department?
Oh, yes, but they transferred me after you broke the glass in the showcase. Oh, now you see what you done, McGee?
Boy, shucks, this I paid for it.
Oh, please, I'd gladly have paid for it myself to get away from those children. They were always getting into everything. You know how children are. Oh, yes, indeed, I do. They're always fooling with things. McGee, quit turning them knobs.
Why? Shucks, I was just trying out this here shortwave set. I suppose you get shortwave better onto these here midget sets, ma'am, huh? Short set, shortwave, huh?
Oh, no. But here is a wonderful little shortwave set. The English stations come across beautifully.
The English? That's good. I thought them fellas never would come across.
Can you get London on that set, ma'am? Oh, certainly, anytime. Shall I show you? Yes. Listen to this. I think London is, let me see it, number 120. No, 120. Just a minute now.
Cheerio, everyone. This is that jolly little wireless station, H2O. H2O across the water.
Ain't funny, Limey.
Nevertheless, we are back on the air again after having a spot of tea, you know. Now don't buzz off because we have an amazing bit of news for you. As they say in America, get a burden of this. We have here in the studio His Lordship Sir Cassian Walnut, who's kindly consented to come down from his dreadful estate to comfort and park up a sitting of drum to give us a bit of advice on the subject. My own Miss McCastle. Interesting, no, Anne. What? Are you ready, Sir Cassian?
My, isn't it wonderful, McGee?
Listen, Molly, I don't want to miss none of this.
Speak right into the belly, little gadget, your lordship.
All right there, Algy. Thank you. Friends, I want to urge you to try this easy-to-use, no-rubbing floor polish before the holidays. Once your floors and linoleum are protected with a bright glow coat polish, you won't have to worry about dirt tracks and scuff marks. Soiled spots wipe right off. Why, here's how easy it is to apply glow coat. Just pour a little of this liquid polish onto the clean floor. Then spread it lightly over the surface with a soft cloth or the special glow coat applier. You don't have to rub it in or exert yourself in any way. Glow coat dries in 20 minutes and shines as it dries. making your dull, dingy floors bright as new. By the way, it's very economical, you know, to order Gloco in the larger size can. You save as much as 1/3 by buying the larger sizes.
Sure. Harpo would be where I couldn't say nothing back at him. Cut it off and get something else, sis.
Oh, get some music, ma'am, whilst I sit down here and rest me feet. All right, I'll see if I can get France. Or maybe Denmark.
Right there, sis. I think that's Russia.
And now, folks, a swell little number called You Are My Lucky Star. Marcelli and his men are playing it from the toy department of the Wistful Vista department store.
Russia, is it, McGee? Yours coming from 150 foot away.
But look, Molly. Look at the cash register. Made just like a real one. Shucks, what they don't think of these days.
Leave it alone, Mrs.
Oh, let me work it just once, Molly. Hey, Molly, look. Even the money in it looks real. Say, won't some kid get a kick out of it?
What are you doing in that cash register? Get out of there. Oh, Mr. Brown! Mr. Brown! Oh, Brown, police! Mr. Brown! What have you done,
Why, shucks, how'd I know it was a real cash? I didn't know it. I didn't do it.
There he is, Captain.
Who?
Taking him out.
Oh, we better come on, boys. Hey.
And now, a special announcement about the Amateur Songwriters Contest now being conducted by Rico Marcelli. If you have an original melody which you think might be made into a popular song, send it to Rico Marcelli in care of the National Broadcasting Company, Chicago. It's not necessary to buy anything in order to enter this contest. Everyone is eligible excepting professional songwriters. A cash prize of $100 will be awarded by the sponsors of this program, S.C. Johnson & Son. And in addition, the winning song will be published by Irving Berlin Incorporated, who will pay the writer standard royalties. The winning song will also be featured on one of the Fibber McGee future broadcasts. This Amateur Songwriters Contest closes January 1st, 1936. For complete information about the contest rules, address Rico Marcelli in care of the National Broadcasting Company, Chicago, or see the current issue of Radio Guide, which gives full details of the contest on page 8. Don't forget to return to Wistful Vista with Fibber and Molly next week at this same hour. They'll take a bridge lesson, they tell us, so listen and see if 13 cards to a hand is really unlucky. Until then, this is the mayor of Chinatown, John Sing Wax, alias Harlow Wilcox. Good night. This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The Jack Benny Program, presented by Lucky Strike.
Quality of product is essential to continuing success.
And Lucky Strike means fine tobacco.
LSMFT.
Yes, Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And in a cigarette, it's the tobacco that counts. Remember what happens at the tobacco auction? At market after market, independent tobacco experts can see the makers of Lucky Strike consistently select and buy that fine, that light, that naturally mild tobacco.
American. Lucky Strike presents The Man Who Knows, the Tobacco Warehouseman.
Mr. Alexander Irvin, well-known tobacco warehouseman of Reidsville, North Carolina, said recently,
"For many seasons, I've seen the makers of Lucky Strike buy ripe, mellow tobacco. Fine tobacco you just can't beat for real smoking quality. Smoked Lucky's myself for 14 years.
So for your own real, deep-down smoking enjoyment, remember...
LSMFT.
Lucky Strike means fine tobacco. And Lucky Strike is the ideal gift on every Christmas list. So say Merry Christmas 200 times with a carton of 200 Lucky Strike cigarettes in their beautiful holiday wrapping.
And for the specials on your list, a special handsome gift box of 500 Lucky Strike cigarettes. Each so round, so firm, so fully packed, so free and easy on the draw. The Lucky Strike program starring Jack Benny with Mary Livingston, Phil Harris, Rochester, Dennis Day, and yours truly, Don Wilson. Ladies and gentlemen, as you all know, there are only 3 more shopping days till Christmas. So let's pick up Jack and Rochester on their way down to do their last-minute Christmas shopping.
Rochester, how far is it from my house to downtown?
About 7 miles, boss.
Oh, fine. We ought to be there about noon.
Yeah, it's a good thing we started last night.
Yeah. Gee, there sure is a lot of traffic this time of year, and I have so much to do. I better check over this list. Clark Gable, 6 shirts. Barbara Stanwyck, 12 initial handkerchiefs. Gary Cooper, 2 pair of silk pajamas. Claudette Colbert, a lace negligee. Rochester, I hope we can deliver these things by tomorrow.
Yeah, you promised them they'd have their laundry back before Christmas.
We may have to work nights. Oh, well, let's not worry about that now. Darn, we'll never get downtown at this rate. So slow riding behind the trolley.
Do you want me to cast off and hook onto a bus?
No, I can't stand those fumes. You know, Rochester, Christmas is a lot different now than it was years ago. I remember one Christmas Eve when I was a kid. The ground was covered with snow, and as I looked out the window, in the distance I could see someone dressed in red. Suddenly there came a patter of hoofbeats and a knock on the door, and the door flew open, and a man said,
"The British are coming."
He did not. He said, "Merry Christmas." It was Santa Claus. Then he came into the house and gave my cousin Cliff a sled, my sister Florence a doll, and Rochester, you'll never guess what Santa Claus gave me.
What?
A violin.
That sweet old man did that?
Rochester, don't be so... Oh, there's the store. We better start looking for a place to park. Here's the place. Slow down while I see what it says on the sign. This parking lot reserved for the patrons of the Paddock Swimming Pool Company. 1 hour free parking with each $6,000 purchase. Gee, it's a shame we've already have a swimming pool. Oh, look, here's another free parking lot. Let me see. This lot reserved for the patrons of Dr. Whiteside, the friendly dentist. 1 hour free parking with each tooth pulled. Rochester.
I went last time. It's your turn now.
Well, never mind. Let me out and you find a place to park the car. I got to meet Miss Livingston.
Okay.
Gee, there's certainly a lot of people downtown today.
Jack, oh, Jack.
Oh, hello, Mary.
Jack, I've been waiting for 15 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. We got held up in traffic. Let's go in the store. Mary, you have my Christmas list, haven't you?
Yes, here it is.
What does it say?
It says, Dear Jackie boy, I couldn't meet you last night because the customer spilled a chocolate soda all over my uniform. So
The list is on the other side. Give it to me.
Wait a minute, Jack. Who's Josephine?
The little blonde car hop at Simon's Drive-In. She used to work at the Glendale branch, but they promoted her to Beverly Hills. Gee, I hope that chocolate soda incident doesn't send her back to Glendale. You know, she's very pretty, Mary. The Drive-In uses her pictures in all their newspaper ads.
Oh, yes, I remember. She was Miss Cheeseburger of 1946.
Yeah, she'd have made it this year, too, but her mustard was on crooked. Just goes to show you. Fate. A little thing like that, huh? Let me see that list, Mary.
Here you are.
Gee, I still have to buy a present for my old girlfriend, Gladys Abisco. I don't know what to get her. You think she'd like a lipstick?
I don't know. She got lips.
Yes. Oh, stop being so catty. I know what. I'll just send her some flowers. Now, come on, before I do any shopping, I want to open a charge account. There's the credit department over there.
Now, Mr. Benny, I think we have all the personal information we need. Now, would you tell us something about your financial qualifications? What are your assets?
Well, I own my own home, my own car. I have 3 paid-up insurance policies. I have a radio program, and I own some stocks and bonds.
I see. Now, what are your liabilities?
My liabilities?
The horn blows at midnight.
Mary.
The horn blows at midnight. Oh, yes, that was a picture.
Thank you.
Now, Mr. Benny, in what bank do you keep your money?
The Bank of America, California Bank, Security Trust Company, Farmers and Merchants Bank, Mercantile Trust Company, Security Savings Bank, First National Bank of New York, Pittsburgh Trust Company, National Bank of Commerce.
Can I help you, young man?
Help me?
Yes, you've been standing in front of this counter for 10 minutes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm confused.
Well, that's understandable. You're confused because it's Christmas time. You've got the Christmas spirit. You're doing your Christmas shopping, and you're looking at so many different things.
Well, that explains why I'm confused in December, but what about the other months?
Well, I wouldn't know. I'm just standing behind this counter because in a moment of enthusiasm, I sold my pants.
Oh, well, I'd like to get something for my parents.
Oh, your mother and father, eh?
Yeah, how did you know?
Oh, I just figured it out.
Gee whiz, I don't know what to get for my mother.
You know, young man, looking at you, I can just picture your mother.
You can?
Yes, small, petite, gentle, a kindly smile for everyone, and spends most of the time sitting in a rocking chair knitting.
That's my father. Now try and guess my mother. Oh, boy, she sure makes him toe the mark.
You mean your father's afraid of your mother?
Oh, everybody's afraid of my mother. When I was born, the stork left me a block away from the house.
What?
It's a good thing I knew the address. Gee, I wish I knew what to buy my mother for a Christmas present. Oh, I know. I'll get her one of these. What size is this one?
38.
No, that'll be a little too small. What size is this one here?
That's a 44.
That's fine. Put some bullets in it and wrap it up.
Yes, sir.
Send it to Mrs. Patricia Day and put a card in it saying, "With all my love, Dennis."
Yes, sir. I'll do that immediately.
First National Bank, Bank of Manhattan, Sacramento Savings and Trust, San Francisco Bank Exchange, and the Benny Trust Company of Waukegan.
Well, you certainly keep your money in a lot of different places.
Yes.
He's also got a St. Bernard with a coin slot in the brandy barrel.
That's in case I get lost, is it?
Well, Mr. Benny, as far as your credit is concerned, that's all the information we need.
Thank you. Now, come on, Mary. Let's get my shopping started. Let me see that list again. There's Don, Rochester. I know what to get Dennis. He told me what he wants. And it's such a silly thing.
What does he want?
A bulletproof vest. Say, Mary, what would be a good thing for a 9-year-old boy? I want to get something for little Stevie Kent.
Stevie Kent? Isn't he the little boy who tackled you in the football game and sprained your ankle?
Uh-huh.
And you're buying him a present?
Mary, it was an accident. He didn't mean to do it.
Then why are you suing him?
I'm not suing him. I dropped the case after he paid the doctor bill. Now, come on, let's try to...
Mr. Jack Benny, please report to the credit department.
Oh, darn it, what do they want now?
Pardon me, miss. Would you mind waiting on me, please?
Why, yes, sir. What can I do for you all?
Well, honey, child. You the same little gal waiting on me last year. You from Alabama, ain't you?
I sure I am. Are you all from the South?
Am I all from the South? Honey, when I was born, the doctor held me up on my feet and slapped me with a candied yam.
Well, corn my opponent and mint my julep if it ain't little old Phil Harris.
That's me, baby. They purchased Louisiana because I was in it.
I don't doubt it for a minute. Now, what would you like to buy?
Well, I don't know.
How would y'all like to see something nice in lingerie?
Now, honey, you know you shouldn't throw me a line like that.
Oh, gee, Mr. Harris, you're so cute.
Yeah, everybody notices it.
You know, Mr. Harris, you're so much different than I pictured you to be. On the radio, you're such a braggart. You sound so conceited.
That ain't nothing. Wait till I go on television.
Are you all going to go on television?
Honey, when a man is as good looking as I am, television ain't a luxury. It's a necessity. Now, let me see. Let me see. I'm wondering, honey, what I can get for my wife. I'll tell you what. Hey, give me one of them negligees there.
Why, yes, sir. Shall I wrap it as a gift?
Yeah, and fix the package up so she can't peek into it. Seal it over with some of that scotch and soda tape.
I'll have it wrapped up for you in 2 shakes of a possum's tail. Wait right here, Mr. Harris.
Say, mister, there was a call that I report back here to the credit department.
Oh, yes, Mr. Benny. The store has checked your financial standing, and we're happy to say that the papers are all ready for the loan.
Loan? I don't want to get a loan.
No, we do.
Oh. Well, how much...
Jack, come on. You came here to do your Christmas shopping.
Oh, yes. You better call me at home, mister. Come on, Mary. I might as well buy the flowers for Gladys Zabisco first.
Okay.
Hiya, Jack.
Huh? Oh, hello.
Long time no see.
That's right. Come on, Mary.
Jack, who was that?
Oh, he's that racetrack tout who used to hang around Santa Anita. What a guy. Come on, let's get away from him, huh?
Oh, wait a minute, Jack. I want to stop the lingerie counter. I like this shade, miss. I'll take this pair of 2-thread hose.
You're wrong, lady. This hose is 3 threads.
Oh, no, it's 2-thread.
I beg your pardon, but it's 3 threads.
Listen, sister, don't argue with me. Not so long ago, I was standing right where you are.
Just tell her, Mary.
I don't know why I'm so fresh. She's making more money than I am.
Only during the holiday season. Anyway, Mary, you don't have to buy stockings. I was going to give you a pair for Christmas.
I'll buy my own. I wore the stockings you gave me last year, and everybody thought I was a nurse.
Well, how do I know the kind you want? Now, come with me while I get the flowers.
Hello, Mr. Benny.
I see the Yule time is catching up with you.
Oh, hello, Mr. Kitzel. Hello, are you doing your Christmas shopping?
Look at these arm-loaded bundles. The things I am buying.
Now, what's in that long, thin package?
This is a present I'm sending to my brother-in-law. It's a hacksaw.
A hacksaw?
If he gets it in time, he'll be home for Christmas.
Mr. Kitzel, your brother-in-law is a prisoner?
No, he's the warden.
Well, if he's the warden, why does he want a hacksaw?
He was playing truth or consequences with the prisoners, and he lost.
Oh.
Say, Mr. Kitzel, what are you getting your wife for Christmas?
I got it already here in this box. It's a beautiful fur coat.
Well, that's nice. What is it, a fox or sable?
On the label, it's sable. In the box, it's fox.
Well, don't you know what you bought? I mean, didn't you ask the salesman?
For $29, I should start an argument.
Well, maybe you're right. She'll probably like it anyway. Well, goodbye, Mr. Kitzel.
Merry Yuletime, Mr. Bennett.
Merry Christmas to you. Say, Mary, while you're waiting for your stockings, I'm going over and pick out some flowers for Gladys. Gee, all these flowers are so beautiful. But I think I'll get these roses. Yeah, they're the nicest.
Hey, Jack. Jack.
Uh-huh?
What you doing?
I'm buying flowers.
What kind?
I'm buying roses. What?
Take the carnations.
But look, I don't want carnations. I want roses.
Come here a minute.
Huh?
Don't be a jake. The roses are $1 a piece. That's even money.
I know.
The same dough on carnations will get you 6 to 1.
Six to 1.
Don't take my word for it. Here it is in the seed catalog.
Look, mister.
I'll show you. Now, let's see. Poppies, gladiolas, chrysanthemums, poison ivy. Oh, that's been scratched. Violets, daisies, roses. Yeah, here it is, roses. Blooms early, fades in the finish.
Well, look, I don't care what it says. I'm still going to buy the roses.
Okay, it's your money.
I wish that guy would leave me alone. Oh, Miss!
Now, let me see. I have my rifle, cartridges, my rod and reel and hooks.
Yes, sir. Now, is there anything else you need?
Oh, yes, a tent.
Very well. How about this one over here?
Well, that looks good.
Shall I have it delivered?
No, just put sleeves on it. I'll wear it home.
Oh, Don.
Well, hello, Jack. Hello. Doing your last-minute shopping?
Yeah, I was just going over to the perfume counter to get a present for my sister Florence.
Well, Jack, before you go, I want to show you something I bought you in the toy department. I gave you something like this last year, but you broke it, remember?
Oh, yeah, but Don, that was last year. I'm too old for toys
But,
now.
Jack, this is so novel. Now, just look at it. A set of toy wooden soldiers.
Now, that's not for me, believe me.
Well, now, just watch what happens when I wind them up.
Now, people are watching. Don, you can show it to me at home.
Here it goes.
It's a smoke for you, it's a smoke for me, it's a smoke for we. LSM, 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 FFM, 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 LSM, FFM, it's a round, it's a burn, it's a fully crack. Better buy Lucky's, Lucky strikes a smoke for me. Better try Lucky's, LSM, better buy Lucky's, Lucky strikes a smoke for me. LSM, 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 LSM.
to wind them up again.
Never mind, Don. Forget it. It was nice of you to think of me anyway. I'll see you later.
Jack, I've been looking for you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary. I stopped to talk to Don Wilson. Oh, say, Mary, don't let me forget to buy something for Fred Allen.
Fred Allen?
Yeah, I don't know what to get him. He has nothing. Oh, I'll buy something for my sister first. Here's the perfume counter. Pardon me, sir. I'd like to buy some perfume.
Okay, mister. What kind of perfume would you like?
Well, I don't know. What's popular right now?
Well, here's something that's not too strong, yet leaves a trail of broken heart.
Oh.
It's called Avec très je t'aime beaucoup, my chérie très bien.
What does that mean?
I don't know. I didn't take French when I was at Harvard.
Oh, well, anyway, I don't think I'd like that. What else have you got?
Well, here's some other perfume called Essence of a Locker Room.
No, I don't want... Say, here's a perfume that looks nice. How much is that?
68 cents a gallon.
68 cents a gallon? What do you think, Mary?
The same as you. The price is right.
I didn't mean that.
If you want something cheaper, here's some perfume for only 25 cents.
25 cents? What kind of a bottle does that come in?
That don't come in no bottle. We keep it on tap.
On tap?
When I draw it fast, you ought to see the head on it.
Oh, never mind. I'll get something else.
By the way, mister, how come they put a fellow like you behind the perfume counter?
Oh, my regular job is in a delicatessen department slicing Limburger cheese.
Limburger cheese?
Yeah, once a month they send me here to neutralize me.
Well, you must have just come up. Huh? Come on, Mary, let's go. Mary, let's go to another counter and see...
Oh, look. There's Rochester buying some cufflinks.
Oh, yeah, I wonder who they're for. Let's sneak up behind them and listen.
I think these are beautiful. They're very unusual.
Yeah, but I don't think my boss would like them. They ain't his style.
I see. What type of man is your boss?
Well, he's medium tall, medium weight, and rather conservative.
By conservative, you mean he's parsimonious?
Parsimonious? What's that?
Frugal.
What's frugal?
Thrifty.
You're headed in the right direction, but you've got a long way to go.
If I had those couplings already, I'd fire them.
Quiet. I want to hear this.
Now, let's see. Maybe he'd like something else. Why don't you buy him a nice wallet?
He ain't got no use for a wallet.
Where does he keep his money?
California Bank, Bank of America, Security First National Bank, and a Philco deep freeze.
A Philco deep freeze?
Mr. Benny likes some of his money in cold cash.
Rochester!
Oh, hello, boss. I didn't see you.
I know you didn't, but if you're going to buy me a Christmas present, buy it. Don't discuss my personal affairs.
Yes, sir.
Now, come on, Mary, let's go. Oh, say, Mary, there's one thing I still have to get.
What's that?
A present for Don Wilson. I can get it right over here at this counter. Oh, clerk.
Yes, sir?
I was thinking of getting...
Say, your face looks familiar. Didn't I wait on you last year?
Yes, I believe you did. I was thinking of getting...
Now I remember. You bought a pair of shoelaces, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Now, I was thinking of getting...
You couldn't make up your mind whether to get plastic tips or metal tips.
That's right.
Jack, let's get out of here.
Wait, Mary, I have to buy Don's present. Mister, do you happen to have...
I remember how you kept coming back. First you get plastic tips, then you change to metal tips. Plastic tips, metal tips.
It was a hard decision to make, you see. Now, mister, I'd like to
metal tips, plastic tips, metal tips.
Jack, get out quick.
Wait a minute.
And you came back again, and again, and again, and again.
Mister.
All the other clerks went home, but I had to stay.
Look, mister.
But you're not going to do it to me this year.
Yeah.
Plastic tips, metal tips, plastic tips, metal tips. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out.
But, mister. ladies and gentlemen, since this is our Christmas show, we feel that it is fitting to close with a medley of Christmas carols sung by Dennis Day.
Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie above thy deep and dreamless sleep. The silent stars go by, yet in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee in fields as they lay, in fields where they lay keeping their sheep on a cold winter's night that was so deep. Noel, 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 born is the King of Israel. Adeste fideles, Lady triumphantes, venite, venite in Bethlehem. Natum videte, regem angelorum, venite adoremus, venite adoremus, venite adoremus, Dominum. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him. Oh, come, let us adore him.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.